Hi, Nick.
Hi, Maddie.
How's it going?
I am good. How are you?
Also, swell.
Lovely. I feel like this is the first time in a while where I've said, like, good definitively.
Yeah, that's true. Usually you're
fun.
very unsure.
Okay, way to start off depressing. No, the elephant in the room this week
Yes.
is going to be that you held at your business your first big event.
Yeah, oof.
Well, it was a mini MET Gala, and then the actual MET in America was yesterday
morning, yeah.
I was just going to ask your opinion on your faves of the actual MET.
J-Lo.
J-Lo, what did J-Lo wear?
Yeah, she was in like a cowboy type situation. I feel like most people went for like an old Hollywood, just kind of a gown, and I was like, oh, it's the Met Gala, wear a costume.
Right?
So
it was kind of just like
it's pretty chill.
Yeah.
It's pretty chill. That's disappointing, but you know, yeah. What about you? Do you have a fave?
A fave. Not really. I was surprised by Olivia Rodrigo's. She ended up looking really cool. I wasn't expecting that.
It was like a skin tight bodysuit situation. Okay, wait, we got to jump in.
It's really hard to be silent.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just going to chime in here. I'm the
Please
guest. I'm not
do.
supposed to be brought in just yet. One, Emma Chamberlain, amazing. Haley Steinfeld.
Yes.
Didn't even look like herself.
She did not look like herself at all. It was crazy.
Amazing.
Wait, I don't think I've seen this. I don't have my phone. Someone show me.
How could you
truly.
not? You wouldn't recognise her at all.
She was trending on Twitter for like a full 24 hours.
Yeah, I don't go on Twitter. That would probably be why. I saw Billie Eilish, her dress. Everyone was talking about
stunning.
that. Yeah.
That was stunning.
That's, and J-Lo. Oh, and Kim Kardashian.
And Kim
obviously.
Kardashian in the GIMP suit. I was like, yes, please. Why are GIMP suits coming back? Because I saw someone else.
Oh,
Kim
wow.
Petras wore a GIMP suit going to the
VMAs. Yeah.
That's stunning. Sorry, just to go back 2 seconds.
That doesn't
Haley
look like her at
Steinfeld.
all,
That's
right?
amazing. Yeah.
No, she looks like...
That's incredible.
Yeah, I don't...
It's wild. But
I reckon it's the contouring of the top of the nose.
I think that's an eyebrow.
No, it goes top of the nose into the eyebrow, and they contour there, and it's changed the whole shape of her face.
I believe you. She's had work done too.
she's like
they're
younger than us.
Oh, they've all had work done.
Yeah. Well, have you looked at
Should we
pictures
go
of
get
like
Botox? I kind of
Bella
want to get Botox.
Hadid? Wow, what a segue there.
Sorry. I feel like it would be fun. I don't know.
I'm just going to go back to my corner and wait to be introduced.
No, all right, you're here now. So everybody, welcome.
Yes, please welcome.
Christian Hull. Wait, let me.
Oh my God, you got... Yay!
You don't even have to do your own applause.
How good's that?
The sharp cut in and the sharp cut out. It's so lifelike. It's so authentic. So real.
No one's going to know that it was just a button.
Yeah, no, welcome. To
Yeah,
Christian
thank
Hull.
you. Right,
so
yeah.
much. This is so nice.
Oh
I'm
no,
used to-
thank you for
So
coming.
cute.
We appreciate it. It's gonna be a great hour. Let's just
Well, it started off pretty poorly with no one mentioning Haley Steinfeld.
Wow,
So
okay,
I'm
wow.
a little bit annoyed, but that's okay.
You don't know
He's
that we
ready
weren't
to walk
gonna
out.
get there.
You definitely weren't going to get
That's
there.
true. That is true. No, I feel like and we need to quickly talk about the Kim Kardashian one because that was truly wild.
yeah.
The gimp suit.
Yeah,
It was more just a mask.
but
The skin tight, black, full face covering mask.
did you like actually see her and Kanye together there?
No.
The two of them in their complete like Slender Man outfits was haunting
In a good way.
in a bad way.
Okay, right.
I saw an image where she had zips on her eyes.
Stop.
But then in the
There's no zips.
Met Gala, when she was walking the red carpet, it was just all full black like morph suit.
yeah, how'd she see out? Did she have to take it off to eat?
Well,
Did she
as a
have
gimp
makeup on?
mask expert, you can see through the fabric.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you for.
And then Kim, she doesn't eat, so that's that question answered.
That's
true,
fair.
too.
Makeup underneath. What do you reckon?
Oh, wow. I never thought about that. You
Yes.
couldn't. No, you couldn't because it would
You
wouldn't
have to
it
get
ruin
smudged
it?
everywhere. Yeah.
They have anti-makeup smudging masks.
Do they though?
Yeah.
Do
Totally
they
a thing.
work?
She's probably got a team, so she goes into the bathroom and then like a Homer Simpson makeup gun,
Yeah.
just fire.
Yeah. Either that or she's just got like a layer of Glad wrap just keeping it all.
In
Did
place.
you see the photo of Kendall leaning in, and there's Kendall leaning in looking really puzzled, and there's Kim standing there in the full mask,
Yeah.
and all the memes are, Kim, is that you?
Well, see, when I first saw the picture, no one knew for sure it was Kim Kardashian, so it was just like her in the suit, and they were like, allegedly it's Kim, but we're not sure yet.
Oh, drama.
Like, yeah, I know.
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
Body double.
And yeah. And then there were heaps of people being like, does she need to be freed from Kanye? Like, what's the deal
no,
here?
the Free Britney movement's moved on to Free Kim.
Yeah.
What is going on with Kim and Kanye? I thought they were getting divorced.
They
Same.
are. That's why everyone's saying, why did they show up together?
Well, they can
and
still be
two,
friends.
you couldn't tell whose
Co-parent,
vision it
I
was
guess.
to wear the complete blackout bodysuits.
Yeah.
It was definitely Kanye's
Her
idea.
showing up at his concert in a wedding gown, that was weird.
Well,
a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, because I thought, okay, maybe they're
all
doing some Kanye thing where they're getting divorced and then they're rebirthing themselves and for his album launch they get remarried and it's a hot new chapter.
Interesting.
'Cause he's-
I feel like that's where it's going.
Poor Kanye. I mean, he's mentally quite unwell. He's had
Yeah.
breakdowns on stages. So
Yeah.
maybe she seems very tolerant. Like when he
She
was
does,
off
actually.
supporting Donald Trump,
Yeah.
she just bit her tongue and was like,
She's stuck in her own lane, yeah.
yeah. And I was like, wow, good on you. And then when he, went on rants on stages,
Yeah.
she's been like
Yeah.
supportive,
Yeah.
but not so loud that it's like bad for her.
Yeah.
And so I think maybe she's been like, okay, well, if you need to go and do a crazy, we get divorced, we
Yeah.
rebirth ourselves and get remarried as part of this weird album thing. I'm really hoping because I kind of like them together. Because
Interesting.
they're so opposite.
They are. And as you say, she is very quite supportive of him, so that's quite nice.
So supportive.
Yeah.
She's always at all the events.
Yeah.
There's the one video of when their daughter is at a fashion runway.
Singing?
And she's singing, and it's so bad.
So
and Kim's
bad.
there, like, with a big smile, like, so proud.
Yeah, she's like
Doing amazing,
videoing
sweetie.
it. Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
I just love her because of just some of the things she's done, especially that video where she's describing what daddy does to her children. Oh, he's a world famous, very talented rapper, and mummy's known for, and then she stops herself and goes, oh God, what am I known for? Too many things to list. And I just thought that was so funny.
I actually think she's more self-aware than people give her credit
So
for.
self-aware.
Completely.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
for
can't
sure.
get to that level
Yeah.
and be like all of them. I think they're all self-aware of how
Yeah.
ridiculous they are, which is
Yeah.
why their show is so funny because they make fun of each other, they call each other out, and I never liked them because I think in the early years I didn't realize that they were. They probably weren't self-aware in the early years.
No, yeah.
Then they realize how ridiculous their lives are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always just remember from season 1 of the show, right at the end in the final episode, more of Kim's nudes get leaked. I don't know if you've seen.
No.
Yeah. Anyway, and Chris comes in
so
and
iconic.
she's like, Kim's having a complete meltdown, and Chris comes in and she's like, can I get you anything? And Kim just goes, a gun. And we're like, okay.
And it's the same episode with the confessional of Kris Jenner just going, this is a case for the FBI. It's
Oh, God.
a wonderful episode.
They're ridiculous. Love it.
So fun.
Yeah. Okay. Should we just get into the
I
questions?
feel like we should.
Okay. All right. So we got to set the scenario. Are we setting a scenario?
We're setting a scenario. Just
wanna-
to preface, I'm excited to hear your answers because you're actually prepared.
Yeah.
Oh, I prepared one-word answers.
That's
too excited.
That's
still
fair.
being prepared.
That's you've got answers. That's
Yes.
what matters.
No.
Well,
yes,
peace.
Yes. All right, I'm done here. See you later.
Otherwise, that's more preparation than I did through all of university. So it's a win on my part. so.
Iconic.
You go.
Okay. Scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Alien invasion, and the aliens come down and they ask you, Christian Hull, to answer these very specific questions about.
Just calling the police to get away.
I just picked up my phone because I've written my answers down. I don't remember what I wrote.
That's fair. No, okay. About your most influential and favorite pieces of pop culture and media, and if you don't answer the questions, the whole of the human race dies,
Yep.
I would be like, kill them all. I would like to live alone on this planet, please.
including you. You die as well.
No, I get away. In this scenario, no. And I go on holiday in Noosa, in Kevin Rudd's $16 million house. It's now suddenly vacant.
Perfect. All
I've been
right,
waiting
living
for
your
someone
dream
to
life.
just accept that.
End
so.
of podcast.
Yeah,
All right,
we're
everyone
good,
go
we're
home.
good.
Cool. Okay, what's the first one? I
The
always
first
forget
one
the
we
order.
do is always TV show.
TV show.
I love that the question's like, you're going to die, but you need to answer this question. And it's not like, what's your biggest secret? It's like,
TV show.
what's your favourite TV show?
Yeah, literally.
Like, the stakes are so high. I'm like, well, that's an easy answer.
This podcast is just us talking about stupid shit in a very serious manner.
Dramatic. In such a dramatic fashion.
Yeah, basically.
Wait, pause though.
Yes.
I recently found out about a TV show called...
We're not
something.
talking about you.
No, but I need to talk about this because it blew my fucking mind. It was this TV show. It was tons of controversy in the US. It's a game show where people have to take a lie detector test before they do it.
Oh, yes.
And then on the air, they have to answer these questions. And it's all like about getting like $100,000.
Did you see the one where the couple ended up getting divorced because he accidentally
No.
reveals that he's cheating?
No.
I don't know if it's real, but there's that. I think there's a UK version, and you need to go on YouTube because the wife is then asking the husband about this, and then suddenly it's sort of like, whoa, this takes a turn, and then he's lying, and then it's so dramatic, and then in the end she storms off because she's
Connie.
uncovered an affair, and then I'm like, oh my God, what has just happened? But then I go, is this real? It seems so real, but like if it's on television,
You never
it's
know.
definitely not
Yeah.
real.
Yeah, wow.
Well,
Better
yeah,
actress
no,
than
that
Meryl
was-
Streep, maybe, is where we're at. It's
That's
scripted
also
and
true,
she's,
probably,
yeah.
No, it's so fascinating to me because like they produced basically 3 seasons and they only aired 2.
Oh,
And
why?
the second season finale was so controversial that basically this girl was part of a quote-unquote religion that was basically a cult that
Scientology?
I don't know
Mormon.
what it was, but it involved
Any of the religions.
any of the religions.
Yeah.
Sorry,
It
just like
involved
preface.
polyamory. Okay,
Oh, that's... Yeah. Yeah, okay. I'm not a big religious fan. But America, huge. Huge.
Yeah.
It was huge. So this
Huge.
would have been...
well, no, she was in this, and the final question was just: has your father ever had sex with an underage woman, an underage
no.
girl?
And they put this to air.
Yeah, and,
And
she's like sobbing, and she goes, "Yes!"
Oh my God.
And then the audience is applauding because she just won $250,000. She's crying. The shot of her family crying. The host is like, what do I do? And then,
What the fuck? Why would they ask that question?
because in this polyamory cult, they're just given women to marry.
What?
Yeah.
And the host was like, I don't know what to do, but I think we should let the dad explain. And the dad was like, yes, we're in my religion. It's polyamory, and I was given this girl to marry, and she was 17, just finishing high school, and we were married. Basically, that aired. There was so much backlash that they just didn't air this like the third
aired
season.
that.
Yeah, and the host was like, I nearly quit.
Oh my goodness.
Jesus Christ.
Okay.
See, that is a situation that you should be putting guests in, you know? That lie detector, not this. Oh, an alien came down and said, what's your favourite band? Like, this is piss weak. I want, like, you start asking me, has your father ever slept with me?
Okay, that will be the last question of the day, so you have time to think about that answer.
We'll think of like
Very
a really
awkward
hard-hitting question for you to finish
Yeah.
off.
Can you please?
When was the last time you cried?
This morning. No, it was literally because Latrobe Street, which is the street we're on, is the most painful street to find a park. And I almost, I pulled out in front of a bus. He tooted me. I didn't see the bus. I almost died. I cried and then went, is this podcast worth my death? There's a parked, and now I'm here.
Wow, it could have gone pear-shaped so
You could have
quickly.
killed me. You would have been responsible for my terrible driving and all of the decisions that led to that moment.
That makes total sense.
Yeah.
Of financial liability falls on me, obviously.
A lot to unpack there.
Absolutely.
Okay, no, back on track. Sorry for
Right.
distracting us.
TV show.
Your TV show that influenced you, your favorite TV show, whatever, just what you're vibing.
Growing up, I'm so glad I seemed prepared. It was The Nanny. But, so I'm, for context, I'm 34.
Okay.
You guys,
You don't
I'm
look it.
Yeah, I look 45. I'm assuming early 20s.
Yes.
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 Have you seen The Nanny?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, it was on TV. It was straight after The Simpsons, I want to say. So we had
Yeah.
The Simpsons at 6, The Nanny at 6:30, and so we
Wild.
weren't really allowed to watch The Simpsons, but we could
Me
get away
either.
with
Yeah,
The Nanny.
Yeah.
And it was just because I would have been. This is my formative years, so I would have been like a tween into teenager, and because, not yet a full gay. Like I knew deep down I was a gay, but hadn't admitted it to anyone. And you watch The Nanny, it's the most camp. It's the most queer positive show of its generation. Like gay characters weren't used as a problem to fix or as just a swan in and swan out sort of scenario. They were very sort of celebrated. Fran Fine, her outfits, oh my God.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah.
So stunning. And then the slapstick humour was very like, it was sort of the modern day I Love Lucy.
It was.
Yeah. So I was introduced to I Love Lucy from my aunt. Because I think I Love Lucy was a bit before her time. I don't want to call her an old, but it's like that big facial expression, the zoom ins, the slapstick comedy, the making fun of being a TV show. Like there's one scene in The Nanny. Oh, I just love it so much. I've just finished rewatching like the whole thing.
Wow. How many seasons are there?
There's 8.
Oh, okay.
8 or 9, yeah.
Oh, yeah. 6, 8, 9, 10, 55. It feels like
it's
a
still
lot.
Going.
It goes on. But there's a scene where they have a guest host, Jay Leno, comes in, and obviously the provision for him to come on and do the show is he gets to promote his book on the show. Because it was the #1 rated show of its time. And so the scene that they wrote for that was so funny. And they were talking about celebrities and how it's really annoying when they come on things to blatantly promote product. And he holds up his book and he talks about it. And she holds up, so Fran holds up her book as oh my God, what's her
real name? I don't know.
No, it's Fran Drescher.
I think it is
it's
Fran.
Fran Drescher.
Yeah.
The nanny named Fran. It's Fran Drescher. Oh my God, I just made those two comparisons. And she pulls out her book and goes, I hate it when people promote their books, such as this one. And it's like her personal book, and then she's playing the character, and it's just so great.
It's like tongue in cheek, but
it broke the third wall quite a few times, which I had never seen before and really liked.
Wow.
Oh, I love it. It's sorry.
You've talked it up so much. It's like I've been like, yes, that's on my list of things to watch specifically because of the fashion. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, okay, wait, this is like going to move up to the top of the list.
If you just want to watch it for the fashion, Vogue did a thing where they sit her down and they go through 15 of her most iconic looks, and she talks about why and how and the impact it had.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
it's
that's awesome.
amazing. And she is just such a beautiful person.
Yeah.
She's also on Cameo, and she's very expensive, but I've hovered over the buyer thing from her. But sometimes she does what I do. She'll do a cameo and then in the end bring in a product she's trying to sell. But like so sincerely, like, do you need spirituality? Like, hi, Tiffany, it's me, Fran. Just want to say happy birthday. Do you need spirituality in your life? And then she holds up her thing. Then you need to get frandresher.com / and it's so funny.
That is
but it's done
iconic.
so sincerely.
I love that.
Yeah, wild. I feel like one of the big selling points of the show was the romance between her and Mr. Sheffield just being like, Mr. Sheffield?
Yeah. Just the on again, off again silver daddy.
Yeah.
It's so hot.
There's something like inherently queer about that relationship too, purely because of the longing. And like
Of the lusting
glances
over.
and, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was like foreplay.
Exactly.
Like foreplay can be the best. Okay, here's an insight into my life. When I watch pornographic material, the best part is the build-up.
Interesting.
I'm with you.
Yeah, and so when they
I'm
got
straight.
when they got together, it was very sort of like yay and anticlimactic because the show kept going for another 2 or 3 seasons.
Oh, wow.
You know, she has kids and spoiler if you've never seen The Nanny, and those episodes weren't my favorite.
Yeah.
And so
The tension's been released.
Yeah, like don't they say that comedy is like all about tension and stuff, and then breaking the tension and
it's like same with Ellen. When Ellen came out,
on her sitcom.
oh no, that was different. That was because America hated the gays. That's why her sitcom died. I was like, that whole thing was her show was leading to that moment, and that's a totally different reason. But did you know? So Fran was married to a guy called Peter Jacobson,
Right.
and they wrote the show.
Oh, wow.
He was gay, and ended up they're still like inseparable.
Wow.
And so that's why the show was so sort of queer positive, and
That makes sense.
they were they were fine with it because I mean Peter was
Yeah.
gay and She wasn't heartbroken. Well, I'm assuming she was.
Yeah.
But they're still super close. And
Yeah.
they wrote a sitcom recently about a woman and a man and then being best friends, like being married.
Interesting.
And then he comes out and then sitcom
mean-
didn't do that well. It was no The Nanny, but it was really fascinating with her personal life story
Yeah.
and how they
much-
sort of
Write
wrote,
what you know, I guess.
How
but-
much it impacted the show
Yeah.
itself.
Yeah,
Seems like
wow.
a lot, yeah.
and the guest stars. They got Elizabeth Taylor.
Wow.
Elizabeth Taylor. But the things I often watch like now and see what the guest stars and the storylines are, and I'm like, they have to be pretty, a non-egotistical guest star to be able to go, yep, I'll be the butt of these jokes or whatnot.
No, you're right.
Or because it was a number one show and they're always flogging off product, they're like, I'll just be the butt of the joke to make, $10 million.
Yeah. I feel
Brennan
like
Barrett.
when you get to a certain level of celebrity, you've just got to accept that that's what's going to happen. You are going to have people make fun of you, so you might as well lean into it. And
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
I feel like we talked about that the other week with Taylor Swift.
Was
Did
she
we?
a guest on the podcast?
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
we talked about it with Taylor Swift.
Really hit rock bottom over here.
No, how it wasn't until she embraced that side of herself and self-referencing
Yes.
and stuff
Yeah.
Yeah.
that she kind of embraced the pop side of her career.
Yeah.
I don't know, and I don't know.
Grew bigger,
Then
done
became
better,
Grew
Unstoppable.
bigger, done better. Yeah.
unstoppable.
Ooh,
For
Grew Bigger
sure.
Done Better. I've watched that video before. Sorry. I'm so sorry.
Don't apologize.
Not at all. Okay, I feel like that was such a rounded answer.
That
I'm like, I
was.
don't have any.
Thank you.
You've explained yourself so
I
well.
don't know. No further questions.
Yeah, Your Honour. The witness rests.
Oh my goodness. Okay, movie?
Actually, I have a question. Would you write a sitcom?
Yeah, I've been thinking about it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of effort. It's just so much work. Not now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely, I pitched some stuff to Screen Australia. This was when I was working back in radio.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh yeah, that's great. And you're like, oh, actually hold off on that. Like that requires, I have to leave work for a bit. You get the production house, you get the funding and you're like, oh, hang on. It's a lot of pressure.
It's got a bit
This has
serious.
happened so
Yeah.
quick. I've just scribbled an idea down and had a meeting, and then suddenly I'm like, oh, I am the new Fran. Trish is the new Fran. Yes. Ultimately, that was a really long way to answer that. Yes, I would.
No.
I love that.
Yeah, wow. Interesting. I feel like, as you say, it's such a big commitment. And sitcoms as well. To have, I feel like comedy is harder than drama. That might just be because I'm not funny, but
No, I would say.
because there's such a high expectation that you have to have a certain, your episode has to have a certain feel. You have to have you have to make people laugh, and I feel like that's really hard, especially ongoing.
Yeah.
So I would never be brave enough to do
Acting
it.
is just hard.
Yeah,
I tried it, and then I was edited out of a movie that I was in. Yeah, can I tell you the story? Sorry, this is so.
Sorry, I'll stop laughing at
No,
you.
no, it's totally fine. It's so funny. So, you're familiar with Rachel Griffiths?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, her team reached out and said she's directing a movie. We'd love to cast you as this small role. You play a nurse. Do your thing. And I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. Can I please audition? Because I knew I was not an actor. And this was a drama movie. And I was like, I don't understand why I have been chosen, but great. She's seen some videos, she's had a laugh and gone, I want that guy in. Don't understand. So they were like, no, the party's yours.
Wow.
I was like, geez, it's a lot of pressure. Anyway, so get the script, do all that. I had 3 or 4 lines. And it was with Sam Neill and Teresa Palmer. So the movie
Wow.
was called Ride Like a Girl, and it was about
Oh yeah, I remember this.
Michelle Payne, first female jockey in 2015 to win
Oh,
the Melbourne
yeah.
Cup. So it's an
I remember that,
incredible
yeah.
story. It's actually a beautiful film,
Yeah.
of which I'm still in it, but you can't see me. And I say 3 words. So I ended up getting on the set that day, and it was a full cast and crew. It was a
Wow.
really serious, probably the most serious scene where the father has a stroke and they think he's going to die. And so
Wow.
here comes Christian. And so I come in, the whole family is there. These are actors I had watched growing up.
Yeah.
My favourite film was
Yeah.
Jurassic Park, so he was
Yeah.
Sam Neill. And then Brooke Satchwell, who I love. She was there, and I was just like, I've never done anything before. These people are probably like, who the is this idiot? And like, you've got to hit your. There's so many things. You know, a comedy video for me at home is you stand here and you read off your phone, or you do a bit and you put a wig on and done. This was you got to hit your mark. You've got to rely on a boom operator that would sometimes drop it too low, so they'd go boom in the middle of your line. You just hear boom, and I'm like, what's going on? And I stopped, and then Teresa in character goes, keep going, and I was like, oh, God, sorry. And so I'm like in and out of character, being like, everyone, you must leave the hospital. This is a serious moment. Your father really needs his rest. So that was my line. We did it like a million takes of it, front, back. So there was one camera operator, which I think is pretty common. So they do all the front shots. They do all the over the shoulder. They do. So there's just one camera person.
Oh, wow.
For a sitcom, it's like one take, 5 angles, 5 camera people. But with a movie, I did not know. It was just one single camera. So when they cut to all these scenes, I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
They're all done different. Like, it's so fascinating. And there was so much pressure. And so I had to do the same line over and over again with Rachel Griffiths bounding in and out from her director's chair, giving me some direction, which was surreal.
Yeah.
She was in Muriel's wedding, 6 feet up, like, oh. And for my half line, and then I got to see the movie. And the line, the 3 lines was cut down to like 2 words, and they only used half of an over-the-shoulder shot, so you can only see the fat rolls on the back of my head. And that was it. And I was sitting there in the cinema with a really good friend of mine, Emmy Lou. I was like, oh, I think this is my scene. I think this is my scene. And then we were sitting there, and I was like, oh, that was my scene. But I couldn't be excited because her whole family was seeing the movie for the first time at the premiere.
Wow.
And this was such an emotional scene that I couldn't stand up and applaud myself because he was about to die. He didn't.
Oh, wow. There you go.
But yeah, that was my soiree into acting, and then I never want to. That's why I sort of don't. If I was to do a sitcom, I'd want to write it and be the big talent, so that if I stuff up repeatedly, everyone's like, "That's okay. He's the star. He's allowed to." The pressure on the day, because we were in an external shoot, we'd already run over time, and I was such a Z grade role in the movie that they were just trying to be like, okay, you need to get that line good, get on your mark. And I was like, I've never done this before. You said I'd be good. I told you I wanted to audition.
Wow. And I think for like a serious part too, that's like,
yeah,
that was an interesting choice on their behalf.
Yeah, it was. I then afterwards I became really good friends with one of the main lady that cast me, and she goes, oh no, I just really like your stuff. You know, we needed someone in there. I was like, okay.
Wow. And they didn't break the news to you that you'd been pretty much cut?
No, because it happens all the time. It's pretty standard. There've been times, like I watched something recently on The Sixth Sense, and how they just dropped a whole scene with a pretty famous actor in it because it didn't make the storyline flow.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking when I left, I was like, "There's no way, like they'll cut this scene." But I was like, "They cannot physically cut. This scene is so crucial to the story. I'll be in the movie regardless." I'm like, "Great," but then I thought to myself, "Well, they might dub another voice in,
Interesting,
and then they might use only these over-the-shoulder shots." They didn't dub my voice in, but they did use as much footage without me in it as humanly possible. And then cut. I did have to go in and revoice some lines, which is pretty normal.
Yeah.
So when they gave me that call, I was like, okay, well, that's a good sign.
Yeah.
But I mean, I revoiced, instead of the 3 full lines, it was like the 4 words. So I was like, oh, this isn't good, but that's okay. Fingers crossed I'm still in the film.
And then you were, but just,
And the Oscar goes to.
Wow.
That's wild.
That is a story and a half, I'm not going to lie.
I'm just trying to think what I put down for what if an alien came down, what movie? Oh, I did. This is the weird part is I put Jurassic Park would absolutely
there
be.
You go. What
it's one of my favorite films, and so being in a movie with Sam Neill, and when I met him briefly, and I was like, oh my god, my favorite movie is Jurassic Park. Now I think he's got issues with that film.
Yeah,
because as soon as I said that, he was like, "See ya." And I was like, oh, he must get that a lot. Or I was like, okay, I'm so sorry. He was lovely.
Yeah.
He was like, oh god, this is the legacy I leave.
Yeah.
But such a great film.
Yeah.
So good.
Jurassic Park, I love that movie. Oh my goodness. I wanted to be a paleontologist when I was a kid.
Really?
Yeah. So that was,
You were one of those nerds.
Yeah.
She says when she was a kid, she started studying it at university.
Okay, so
Wow, you really followed through.
I did archaeology at university. There's a difference, but
Is there?
Whoop.
yes. Paleontology is dinosaurs, archaeology is humans. Yeah, like,
Is coins.
that's what my
even
3
darker for
years
some
of
reason.
degree.
Yeah, that is. I wanted to dig up dead people.
They didn't offer a paleontology basically anywhere in Australia, so
Oh, so you physically couldn't follow through.
yeah, pretty much. Unless I wanted to go
Follow.
overseas.
That would be well, it sounds like it would be a fun job.
yeah.
Out in the heat with a duster.
Yeah, well, see, this is what happened to me. I got into my second year of archaeology, realized there was a lot of science involved.
really?
Yeah, failed all my subjects, and then I was like, okay, this is not for me.
Is that because like carbon dating and stuff?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, and
boring.
like you got to know all of the bones in a human body, for example. But then they're like, okay, but you have to know animal bones too, because
Yeah.
what if someone thinks like you can't? You need to know. You're the one who has to identify what it is. So
I'm
yeah.
out. Yeah.
yeah, pretty much. That was me. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I was here for the history. Just gonna go do that instead.
Fair.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But no, Jurassic Park I think came out in 95. So I was,
Yeah.
you guys probably weren't born. That's depressing.
Not far
I was
off.
about 8 or 9. I don't know why Mum thought that was a great movie to take a 9-year-old to, but I do remember loving it. And then The Lost World came out, and I sat in the cinema, I think I was 12 or 13, with my ears blocked. I blocked my ears because it was so loud and so scary.
Yeah, wow. That movie did not follow through, in my humble opinion.
Oh, no, I thought it was great. Number 3 was terrible. Number 4 was shit.
was
And then
terrible.
there's apparently number 5, which I don't
Yeah.
remember watching.
That's only just come out, like 2018, I think
yeah.
that was.
I think I got into the first half an hour and I remember going to myself, I reckon this will happen, and it would happen.
Yeah.
I reckon this dinosaur will do this, and I was like, this is so boring and predictable.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah, literally, kid you not, the director and writer's pitch for the movie was, what if we did a haunted house movie starring dinosaurs?
Did you get that far into the film? That was the second half. It was
Nah,
weird.
That was, yeah, literally the second half. The first half is escaping the island. The second half is, what if it's
Haunted
a haunted
house.
story, but the ghosts are actually dinosaurs?
It was
It's just
It
like,
was-
why don't you just make one great film called Jurassic Park and then write another great film? Why do we have to leech and suck dry
Yeah.
a good movie?
Yeah, no, and that happens. Oh, that's one of my biggest pet peeves about media these days. Is there is hardly any like original, particularly big blockbuster
Yes.
movies. They're all
Well,
remakes,
yeah.
sequels.
Look, the Marvel franchise is a good franchise, but
Yeah.
it's a franchise. It's so much Marvel.
Yeah.
That it's like, what are you watching? Well, there's only Marvel to go and see.
pretty much.
And
There's
then-
constantly just a Marvel movie at the cinema. Yeah.
Well, they
And now
went
it's on
through.
TV.
They went through a. The movie industry's gone through a big phase where they don't fund movies unless they make multi-millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And so that's why a lot of indie films sort of
Yeah.
have slowed down. I mean,
Yeah.
Netflix and streaming services, they're like, well, that's the impact of that. I'm like, well, no, they've picked up.
yeah.
Yeah.
all
What
of
you've
the
put, like
indies and
now, all
stuff,
the
yeah.
indie films are being funded through there.
Yeah.
So, more indie films, please. Call Me by Your Name. Have you seen that one?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
did. I think we went to cinemas for that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
that's a good one.
It was not
Can
bad.
I share with you some Jurassic Park facts?
Please
'Cause I've
do.
gone in deep. Okay.
Yeah.
So they were the very first. They invented CGI.
Yes. Yes.
There's
yes.
There's a show on Netflix called The Movies That Made Us.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And you should go watch the Jurassic Park one
Okay.
because they
Okay.
talk about accidentally sort of discovering CGI
Interesting.
and the pushback they got from the movie people. I don't know, the funding people, the producers.
I think Universal.
yeah. Yeah.
And the only way it happened, they were like, no, we want to do all this puppeteering because puppeteering was huge at the
Yeah.
time, and they had the best of the best.
yeah.
And so this guy had spent hours developing this software that could make this dinosaur, it's a T-Rex running scene, and they could make this dinosaur digitally.
Yeah.
Then they were having a walkthrough, so Industrial Light and Magic with the team.
Yeah.
They were having the producers come through just to see what was going on. And so what this one single man did, who pretty much designed this whole
Wow.
dinosaur, was just play it on a computer in a loop. So it was there for them to just see.
Wow.
And so they come in, because he was told, get out, don't show us your shit. So he was like, fine. So he just played it. And so they were doing an office, and this one woman goes, oh, what's that over there? And she was like, oh my God, this will change the whole movie. What is
Wow.
that? Let's do that.
Wow.
And so it was all spurred on from this one person going,
wow.
what is it? And then going, how did you do that? And how can we make this work? And they used puppeteering and digital because obviously the technology wasn't there to exist to do full digital.
Yeah.
And I think it's the only movie that sort of really made it work.
Yeah.
In terms of, because I'm a big fan of puppetry.
Yep.
My other favourite movie is The Labyrinth with David Bowie. So that's a Jim Henson one. It's a bit weird. It's like you're on a bit of a trip, but it's such a great film. It's a close second.
Okay.
But that's all puppets. And it
Wow.
just, I don't know, it just feels more fantasy than digital is just, I don't know, it just doesn't have that look or feel. But
No.
Jurassic Park did it so well.
It did.
It
And
did.
the special effects that are in it, like, hold up. Like, I've watched the movie recently and you're like, wow.
Yeah, you are,
Wow.
right? Because some movies are like, oh, why is their face 2D?
Exactly. Still these days, a 2021 film, and you're like, oh, really?
Like Toy Story, if you watch Toy Story, the first Toy Story, you're like, oh, God, this is terrible.
It looks like a And the new Cinderella movie on Amazon on Prime, the CGI in it,
Good?
horrific.
Oh.
It's mind-boggling how I truly don't
I wonder if
understand.
it's because we've been exposed to such great CGI
Yeah.
and then they just don't give them the money to
It's very
No,
positive.
it was like
No,
it was like
no
no,
excuses.
it was like you know the TV show Once Upon a Time.
Yes.
It was like notorious for having super
Terrible.
cartoonish CGI.
Yes.
That was bad.
It was like that.
Wow.
Wow.
See, I saw Cinderella and I don't agree, but I
But she
also
also
am not watching it very closely, so. Oh.
there's a scene where James Corden.
I've seen.
Oh,
But I've seen like a gif of that on Twitter where he turns into a rat. Or
yeah,
something.
but his human head stays the same.
Yeah, that did look. Oh, it's like the drama of Cats.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Well, he was in that too.
I know. He
He's a
actually does the
curse.
same joke in both movies.
Does he?
But he has the tail and falls over.
Oh. I was so traumatized by cats that I've repressed.
I low-key
That
love
movie.
cats. And by low-key, I mean high-key.
I didn't see it.
You've got to.
Oh, I'm just not a fan of movie musicals. Even though I just said The Labyrinth, which is definitely, there's lots of singing in that. It's different.
Interesting.
No,
Can you
it's-
elaborate on that, please? Why? Why don't you like
singing?
musicals?
I'm just like, you could have summed up this plot in a sentence and moved on.
Oh, like a Les Mis type musical, like where they're singing what's happening. I
where
don't
it's
like that
almost
either. Yeah, that's really
exclusively
fair.
singing.
Yeah.
that's ill.
yeah.
Do you like a movie where it's like a song every now and then?
Well, like Sound of
Like
Music,
High School
great.
Musical?
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
cool.
Sound of Music, fine. I wouldn't really. That is a musical, but it's not really.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of non-musical scenes in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that keep
Yeah,
me-
okay. I'm with you. Yes, I agree.
follow.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, Cats
no, okay,
is
you're right.
Cats just pretty much a musical the whole way through.
Yeah,
It
it's
is a musical the
gross.
whole way through, and you have no idea what's going on.
No idea.
Yeah, that's.
And the CGI is bad. It's
It's like
it's an assault.
so bad that it's entertaining.
Mm.
There's a scene where
Yeah.
a train cat called Skimbleshanks the Railway Cat or something. If that doesn't sell you on it,
No, it definitely doesn't.
Grisabella, I mean, these names are batshit, and it's iconic.
It was a lot. It was a lot to handle.
There's a
Yeah.
scene where Rebel Wilson tries to eat cockroaches
That's right, Rebel Wilson's in
that
that.
are like
Yeah, there's
have the
a
faces
lot
of human children.
Oh.
That's right. Oh my god, that was a
It's
lot. Wow.
Truly, I don't know what they were on, but that movie is batshit.
I remember I was at a function in Adelaide. I can't remember. It was an opening for like cabaret festival. And someone came up to me and they're like, oh, we're a big fan. Can I get selfies? And I was talking to them. I was like, oh, what are you doing? And they're like, oh, I do a bit of work for, and I do animation. And I was like, oh my God, wow. Like, what style? And they're like, so at the moment, controversial. I was like, oh, I'm doing the animation for Cats. And I was like, that is amazing.
Wow.
And they're like, yeah. I mean, it isn't. And they were so like, it was just such an amazing conversation, even from the animator.
Yeah.
Like, I think they were then commissioned to try and fix and do,
Right.
and it was
Right.
proving to be a real challenge.
Difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think you were saying that when all of the actors and stuff were doing their scenes, they were just in normal clothes, right? They weren't even in
Yeah.
like green.
They weren't even in green
What?
screen.
Yeah, that's why it was so
mocap
difficult.
suits or
Morph
anything.
suits or something.
Yeah, that's why it was so difficult for them to turn them into cats, is because they were just
And that's
wearing
why their
clothes.
faces didn't blend properly.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Because Tom Hooper, the
So-
director, was like, I didn't want them to feel uncomfortable. I wanted it to be natural. They're fucking cats. And they were using state-of-the-art, never been used before fur technology.
Wow, what the fuck is that?
Look,
it was just bad choice after bad choice.
The only thing was the acting and then the blending of the faces, and then they had to get rid of the cat anuses. But, like, you look at it, and it was actually quite a like, the sets looked really nice.
The sets were good.
Look, it had so much potential, and it was just that one thing that you kind of go, my brain can't comprehend James Corden as a cat, or Rebel Wilson, or Taylor Swift, Jason Derulo. I'm like, don't hide that body. Just put Jason Derulo shirtless. The movie is saved.
You're right.
Yeah.
Like, it was so... There was, in a quote-unquote pivotal scene, Judi Dench...
Oh, God, that's right. There was an A-list cast.
Just had her hand clearly in the middle of the screen with her human hand with a wedding ring on it and everything, just there. And everyone's like...
What was that?
What? How did that even slip through? It's like in the middle of the fucking...
There is a scene... Sorry, I'm going to take us back to Jurassic Park. There is a scene that if you didn't know about it, you wouldn't know about it.
Yeah.
But once you know, you're like, that is a terrible edit.
So
I don't know why this happened, but this is how much of a fan of I am. Ian Malcolm. So when the T-Rex doesn't eat the kid, but like does the thing with the kids, and then Laura Dern's character comes in to try and find, where are they? Oh my God. Finds Ian in the... God, this is so unnecessary, but I'm describing the detailed plot points in the rubble, and they put him in the car, and then the T-Rex is chasing them, and then they smash through that tree.
Yeah.
So there's an edit where it's a jump cut. So he leans on the gear stick.
Yeah.
And then it's just the shot of Laura Dern and the other guy, and then it just jump cuts, and Laura completely moves, and she says, like, look out! I'd never noticed it. And I saw TikTok is where all the secrets get uncovered. And I was like, no. And he even played the scene. I was like, I don't know what he's talking about. And I'm watching it, and I watch it again. Can't see it. And then I finally realised what happens. And he goes, the reason why no one notices is because they play a roar sound from the T-Rex. So they play this big roar, and that sort of throws your attention a little bit into the foreground, the background, and you miss a really obvious jump cut. Like, it is so, like, Laura Dern appears on this side of the screen, and then the next second she's in the middle of the screen.
Oh, wow.
Like, how would you miss that? I was just fascinated to learn.
I love shit like that.
So, I love shit like that. Oh, my God. The TikToks I find, like, this one. Sorry. I never stay on track. Indiana Jones, when he comes out, he pushes, like, a huge sandstone block to come out of a pyramid. He pushes it out. And then it falls off screen, but the shadow, it bounces away. So it's a big bit of foam, but the shadow of it bouncing away is
oh my
still
God.
in there.
Is that in the first one?
Oh, you're testing my limits there. But if you just Google
okay, all right, I
Indiana
will.
Jones,
that's fantastic. I love that.
There's just some great, but people aren't paying attention.
Yeah. Well, they do such a good job of, like, obviously in this Jurassic Park one, drawing your attention away from it. Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry to bring it back to Cinderella.
I thought you hated it.
I secretly love it. It haunts me. It's been 2 days and I haven't stopped. Like, anyway, there's a scene. I was watching it with Dana, and I had to pause and keep rewinding because there was a scene where Camila Cabello. That's a whole other conversation. Anyway, is literally just talking to another person, and there's a jump cut where she goes from back here to here, but it's meant to be a single shot. And it's just the most obvious thing, and it's completely, it's just wild.
You know what?
They made some choices.
That's when they film a scene 5 times, and pick the best parts of the scene, and then they don't seamlessly edit them together.
Yeah, or you would have.
Well, yeah, you can.
That.
Yeah,
you can tell exactly where they cut like 3 lines because she goes from standing back here to moving forward a little. It's
oh, right, that makes sense.
It's wild.
Whack.
Anyway.
Well,
sorry.
We'll move on from that.
Are you gonna watch the new Jurassic World?
No.
Even though it has Sam Neill?
Oh, does it?
Yeah, I think
and Laura Dern.
And is
then
no,
yes,
Ian
absolutely.
Was in the
but
one.
I'm not hopeful for it.
Yeah.
That's
do you know
so
what happens?
No.
The dinosaurs are now all over the world.
Yeah, because they escaped in the end of the last
So humans
one.
are living with dinosaurs now.
Okay.
That's so interesting.
Right. Well, I mean, I just you can't beat
Yeah.
Jurassic Park, and then the Lost World I did really like.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just please.
Well, those are the only two that actually have books. Is the first
Yes,
and second.
yes.
Yeah. And then after that, they've gone off script. So
Clearly. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Lost World's the one that stars in Malcolm, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's his big one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I really love that one.
I was going to say, and Sarah Ferguson. No, she's a redhead who looks like Sarah Ferguson.
Ah.
Julianne Moore.
Yes.
Julianne Moore
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Um,
It actually wasn't that bad. It was, yeah.
I loved
It
it.
was long though. God, it was long.
Long.
It was so long. I remember like there was one point when I was so young in the theater. I was like, oh, it's over. And then it appears, and then they're suddenly back in New York, and the boat's coming hurtling.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yes.
no,
There's like
it's finished. They
That's
got off the
right.
island.
Yeah,
It's
there's like that
finished.
extra half an hour at the end. That's
It's a good
really
half an hour
weird.
At the
Yeah,
shipyard?
But it's like, oh god.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay, I
Yeah.
follow. Yeah.
It's weird. Like
Wow,
it's
it's weird.
good, but it's weird.
It's just that could have been a whole other movie.
Yeah, that's what I remember the first time I watched it. I was like, "Oh, Dad, is this what the next one's about?" And he's like, "No, it's still going. We're going to resolve that now."
Same movie.
Yeah,
Wild.
yeah.
I remember the first time watching The Lost World was on Cartoon Network. And because it's a kids channel, they had to cut out all the swear words. So there's just there's like a reaction shot the first time like one of the dinosaurs comes to the thing, and Ian Malcolm, what's his name in real life?
Oh god, yes.
So
So kill me.
yeah, I know, right? I feel like
I can't wait for the next 5 minutes to be us doing this.
Yeah. Jeff.
Someone Google
Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff
yeah.
Goldblum.
Blah, 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 blah.
Jeff Goldblum.
Oh god, I love
When a dinosaur first comes over the thing and he goes, "Holy shit!" But on Cartoon Network it's just like "Holy," and then cuts to like a new conversation. It was fantastic. It was
Yeah.
the best way to experience the film.
Wow.
Good.
Like on airplanes when there's a movie that has an airplane crash and they cut out the whole scene.
Do they?
That's my absolute favorite thing.
Do they?
Yeah, even if the whole movie is what it's about, like Castaway, for example, they cut that whole scene out.
Oh my
Like Fast
god.
and the Furious 5, 6, or 7, whichever one. The second half of the movie is all about a plane and them trying to bring it down. Entire thing's cut. It just
Why
cuts
would
to
they
them.
even put the movie on?
Such a good
But
question.
Castaway, great decision to remove that. That scene
Yeah.
is so terrifying.
Yep.
It is.
When that plane, it is so scary.
Yep.
Yeah.
It makes sense to not put that on
Yeah.
an aircraft, but I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
Just
Why-
don't
why
have the
put it on?
movie.
Just
Yeah.
don't. How did snakes on a plane go?
Yeah.
It's just the opening title and the end.
Yeah.
credit.
Thank you for watching these 2 minutes.
Oh.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wild.
That's a great fact. I never realised that.
It's so
Yeah.
funny. You're going to notice it every time you go on a plane now.
Yeah.
I mean,
If that ever happens again.
we will be for a very
be
long
it.
time.
Yeah. Oh, have you seen all the news reports where it's like, okay, international flights, it's going to be like
Oh, yeah.
$4,000. Yeah. 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 Like they're expecting ticket prices to like skyrocket because the services to Australia are going to be so like minimal because obviously we're still so like locked in.
Peninsula,
Yeah.
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 Wild.
Anyway, so that
Okay.
we'll just bring the mood down there.
Two great answers so far, by the way. Really, really
Yeah,
good.
48 minutes in, we only
Oh,
got-
okay.
48 minutes.
Okay, let's-
Do we have 12 minutes left?
Well,
Like,
we-
do you
we
have a
can-
time limit?
We
Not really.
No.
Do you edit?
No.
No, I was like, don't ever edit. It's such a waste of time.
It's a waste of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and having to re-listen, and you're like, oh, just don't. 'Cause
Yeah.
Then you become too
Me-
critical.
Thank
Okay,
you.
here we go.
I was waiting for validation on that. Okay, wait.
Album. Do you want me to do my album? I'll just breeze
Yes,
through
go
album.
Go,
album.
just
Yeah.
go for it, yeah.
Fleetwood Mac, big fans.
Okay.
Which specific album?
Rumours,
Yes.
obviously. Followed by Tango in the Night. Love them. It's really the only band, apart from Shepherd, that I like seeing live.
Interesting. Why is that?
Interesting.
I just don't like humans. I don't like crowds.
So
I
it's
don't like
you
crowds.
love them enough that it's worth
So
it.
their music takes me to another place where I don't realise. Although I did go and see Cher
Ooh.
concert,
Wow.
but that again, the Cher crowd was a very older,
Yeah.
very drunk. One lady pooed herself. So I was like, I don't like. Cher was brilliant and so funny.
So the one lady wasn't sure.
no, Cher didn't poo herself. Sorry, did I say Cher pooed herself?
No,
You
no.
didn't, no.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of concerts and stuff.
Yeah.
But I've seen Fleetwood Mac 3 times.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And they held up every time?
Well, no, they did, but the seating, because one was last minute and there was a pylon in the way. But that was fine. I was fine. I just cried through that. Couldn't see anything. I just love them. So,
I feel like I've listened to like 2 of their songs.
yeah, Dreams. You would listen to Dreams and a cover of Everywhere. That's my theory. How dare you?
The one, it's like some chains, something.
Oh.
The chain?
Yeah, and we don't
Work it out.
Yeah.
We will never love me again. I can still. I'll do the whole thing. Saying we will never
break the chain.
Never break the chain. Doodle-doo-ding.
Yeah, that one. I know that one.
Great song.
That's a great
I mean,
song.
they're all great songs.
Yeah. And then,
If I live to
great.
see 7 wonders,
I don't know
how
that
will I?
You have heard that one. You've heard
It's on every
literally
like,
Stevie Nicks sing it on
tourism.
American Horror Story.
did I?
Just like the world.
I know that one.
That's just Stevie Nicks, not Fleetwood Mac.
Oh.
Sings the songs I hope she's singing. And Beyonce also made that one very famous.
Oh, did she? Wow.
Yeah, because it starts. It's the guitar. Anyway, sorry. I know. Okay, next.
No, not next.
You
not
don't
next.
need to
Not
rush
next.
through. It's fine.
Okay.
It's
Unless you've got somewhere you really need to go, like ASAP.
It's fine. We went
can
2
go over
hours
a
with a
bit.
guest once.
God,
so.
no. I have nowhere to be. I should have lied. Yes, we need to wrap this up. I've got another podcast to go on.
Oh, of course.
Just
Good
in
one.
such
Okay,
high
all right.
demand. What a celebrity. Got another movie to go in. Rachel's heading out. What bands have you seen live? Do you well...
You're going to hate my answer
Oh,
because...
God, can I guess it?
Please do. I'll give you a hint.
But One Direction. Have you seen One Direction live?
Yeah,
that would be
twice.
my nightmare. Some great songs,
Yeah.
but just screaming children.
Screaming children and their depressed parent.
Oh, the dads at the back,
Yep.
like folding their arms, frowning. I was that. I took my friends' kids to see Five Sauce.
Oh.
Okay.
And so I was a weirdo up the back. Like you stand there, like it's weird because you're surrounded by a lot of very young children. I'm like, I
Yeah.
just don't belong here. Great music, as long as you're having a great time.
Oh, yeah, definitely. For sure. Mum went with us, actually. She loved it. So yeah.
Did Harry Styles look at you in the eyes?
Oh, look, I'm going to say yes.
Yes, they all say
course.
that. Everyone goes,
But-
he looked at me individually in the eyes. He knew I was there.
I was sitting next to her for this
No,
concert.
not for this concert. Not at this one. I've seen
Oh, so
you.
none of
I
the
was
one
gonna
where
be
he
like,
definitely
no.
looked at me in the eyes.
Yeah. I mean, look, I want to say yes, but as you say, everyone says that. So.
Yeah. And you're in the Harry Styles shirt?
Yeah, I'm feeling it today.
Poor
I love
Harry. He just did a concert and then he spit some water out and everyone's like, ooh, COVID. I was like, oh, for Christ's sake, he's nowhere near anyone.
Yeah.
And that's what he
Also,
always
it's hot.
does.
Like,
Yeah,
who cares?
and I would open my mouth like, yeah, get in my mouth. Give me COVID, Harry.
I was going to say, tell everyone you got
I
COVID
got the
from Harry
strain.
Styles.
I got the Harry strain.
For at least 2 weeks, you're set. You're like, you're good to
He
brag.
spat it in my face as he looked me in the eyes.
Amazing.
Oh, God.
What other ones have you been to, actually? We've been to a few together.
I've seen Justin Bieber a couple of times. Yeah.
Oh my God, yes.
I haven't seen him recently, though. I only saw him like when he
early
and
stuff.
I were
Oh,
younger.
like
yeah.
Baby.
Yeah.
I'm a more recent Justin Bieber fan.
That's
Did you go to the Purpose one?
What?
no.
You're not a recent Justin Bieber fan?
Well, what do you mean by recent?
Like with Kid Laroi.
No.
What? That is the greatest song of all time.
I have trouble
Is that
separating the artist from the art.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be up. You can be right here.
You can swear as much as you want.
Oh, I never know.
No.
Fuck you. There you go. Sorry, that was aggressive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
No, I can't separate. I have trouble separating art from artist, and
He's a bit weird nowadays. He's done some fucked up things.
He did some fucked up things when he was like in your era.
no, for me now it's more like all those celebrities that are part of like Hillsong and shit that are like aggressively anti-gay, anti-woman.
Yeah.
And like, I find it hard to. That includes Selena Gomez. Like,
Does it?
yeah.
Oh,
like,
I find it really
Chris
easy to
Pratt.
separate. I'm still like,
I wish I was like
put
that.
Michael Jackson on, and everyone's like, "Oh, that's not." I'm like, "Why? Why? What did he do?" Oh, yes. I even watched the movie, and I was like, "That was appalling, appalling." And I'm like, "Just beat it." Oh no!
See, I have no
can't.
idea where society stands on the Michael Jackson of it all, though.
You have no idea, did you
No,
say?
because
Me
half
either.
people are like, well, it's the music and they're classics and they're gonna happen, so you might as well enjoy them. and the other half's like, well, these allegations are pretty.
It's all case by case because you have people like the guy House of Cards,
Kevin Spacey.
Yeah. And then he was edited out of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, why are you editing out this man? And then radio stations will still play Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
So it's just this whole big unknown.
Yeah,
And
it's really true.
It's hard to go, oh, he did terrible, like Michael Jackson did terrible, awful things. Okay, I'm going to put on a playlist now. Like, it's really because the music just was, it is, not was.
No, it is, yeah.
It is, and it's meant so much to so many people, and people just will refuse.
Yeah.
Like, it's like even I refuse to go, oh, well, that's different. It's not different. You just separate that. It's like how I would imagine, finding out, this might be a bit triggering for people, like divorce of parents, or if your parent was to do something wrong, you separate the good part of them and then the bad part of them and go, that's not who they were. And so you're trying to do that with your favourite artists.
Interesting.
That's what I think.
No, you're right.
It's the problematic faves. You've always got to... The people are always going to make, like, okay, super recent example. Literally yesterday, Nicki Minaj was tweeting out the most hilarious shit.
Was she?
She wasn't being explicitly anti-vax.
Oh.
No, I mean, she was.
Oh, no, it's totally right, because she did say, I will get the vaccination.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
Well, then she was like, I'm not going to the MET Gala because they're making you get vaccinated.
Yes.
So what's the point of...
Well, actually,
get the
she tried to be like, the media actually is saying I said that. I didn't say that. One, she did say that. Two, she's trying to say that it's because she's got the baby at home that she didn't go, but it's because they required vaccination.
Do you reckon? I reckon it is the baby, but then she's like, oh, that's not going to get me much press.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's probably true too, actually. But no, like, all of her fans are like, oof. Can we not talk about him?
Okay, sorry.
I have too many.
Oh, I love Guy, but yeah, poor Guy.
Yeah.
There's so much. This is my stance on it. I'm getting my second vaccination next week.
Yes.
Depending on when this goes to air.
I'm actually going to be tonight.
Yeah. Oh, great.
Yeah.
So, yep. I'm all for it. It's just a scary thing because I took a photo of going to get my first one and then the pylon.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I just yep. And then I love watching from afar a lot of Instagrammers with their opinions, not for the vaccine.
Yeah.
And you just watch that number of followers just drop so suddenly and then they turn around.
Yeah.
And then you go,
slowly rise. They've got to crawl their way back up.
Well, then they go, oh, no, I was wrong. I was like, well, you don't know. You're only saying that because
you're
watching your sort of career go up in smoke.
Yeah.
So,
that's literally...
Next question.
No, the other day, literally, Paulini did that.
Who?
Paulini.
Well, I mean, I know, but what do you mean?
She posted on her Instagram story a flowchart on how to beat COVID restrictions or something, and how to get away with it. And if all of us who don't believe in the vaccine and who don't believe in these lockdowns all do shit at once, the courts will be overwhelmed and they won't be able to
oh my God.
catch us all, basically.
Oh my God.
And it was like, she was like, this is from a medical expert. The medical expert was a former Survivor contestant.
Jenny McCarthy.
Well, yeah, who had no idea what was going on. So yes, wild. Anyway.
Wow.
But it's really interesting to think about, like, this, the was it the Black Plague? What happened in the early 1900s?
Yeah,
Spanish flu.
Spanish flu. And they did very similar things to what's happening now. And you think, wow, it's so weird to think that now in 100 years' time, they'll be like, I remember those old school COVID crazy people and like how they handled all this shit. God, that was a terrible time.
Yeah.
This is what happens when you have, because right now we're in that freedom of information.
Yeah.
So again, TikTok is, it's alarming how much information I get from TikTok, but it's so good for it.
You're preaching to the choir.
Yeah.
There was a guy that made a TikTok that was like, you can have a theory and go online and find a study that proves your theory. Yeah. And he said, here's an example. He was like, coffee helps your eyesight. There's a study. Coffee hinders your eyesight. There's a study.
Yeah.
And he's like, people will come up with these theories and they're only looking for that positive reinforcement and they don't want to accept anything that contradicts that. But also, you have these two studies. It's like, well, what the hell
do you believe?
So there's all this information and you don't know where it's coming from. And even I catch myself believing stuff and getting really emotionally caught up.
Yeah.
Going, hang on.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I've got to.
Yeah.
Maybe Joe Rogan has a point. Let me just.
That is the soundbite we're going to
Oh
be
my
using.
God! Wow, Candace Owens really speaks the truth. But it's like, it's just everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone has this rock solid opinion with no experience in a medical field, a scientific field, in any field.
Yeah.
So it's scary.
It is terrifying. And they say their opinions with such conviction. Like, it makes sense why other people then believe what they're saying, for sure, but it's terrifying.
Opinions.
Yeah.
News now. News is now just opinions. Sky News, you have all these old men. They're not presenting the news. They're giving their opinion on something.
Yeah.
But they're presenting it in a way that...
But they're presenting it as news.
Yep. Yeah.
It's the same. I'm seeing a lot with, this is going to get really adulty and boring, but like the 7:30 report, which... You know, it's a big ABC thing, which I fucking hated as a kid. I'm like, it's so boring. And even Four Corners, and you're watching this. Four Corners is pretty safe. I have quite like, but that again, it sort of suits my left wing sort of vibe.
Exactly.
So you've got to then take that with a grain of salt and try to figure out. But at the moment, the 7:30 report, you've got Lee Sales, who seems very right, and Laura Tingle, who's sort of more bipartisan. And then I'm watching Twitter absolutely implode in on itself with how they're reporting stuff. And because it's the ABC, you have to have an unbiased, essentially, ABC. But you can't because the government's... So it's like this whole thing of like, who the fuck do we believe?
Yeah.
And you go to The Guardian. You're like, okay, well, The Guardian has no advertising.
Yeah.
And even still, I'm starting to see some things creep into The Guardian. Like opinion pieces. I'm like, The Guardian shouldn't be doing opinion. And so it's... I go down the Murdoch rabbit hole of conspiracies.
I was going to say, when you see the newspapers that he prints and you look at, like, I remember specifically, I was involved a lot with the Adani protests that were happening a couple of years ago. Yeah. And when all of that was happening... you'd see on the newspaper what it is. Everything they focus on is, it's so disruptive to traffic for people to be protesting against it. It's like, well, hang on. Can we actually focus on the point of the protests rather than like what the protest, like as an example, how it's
so full, but the media shapes the narrative. Yeah. The media are the ones, again, God, I should get my tinfoil hat out. But they're the ones that ultimately run the country.
Yeah, yes, for sure.
They run the politicians.
They decide who's getting the votes every election.
Why didn't Sydney close down earlier? Well, I mean, why is Melbourne so... Why do they close down so easily? Because they're not funded by huge corporations. Yeah. So it's a lot easier. It is a lot easier for Dan to close down. Yeah. It's hard for Gladys to close down. I get that. Yeah. That's because, I mean, this is all hearsay. This is all my opinion presented as news. Great. I'm one of them. Is large corporations. Yes. If she closes down businesses, they're going to lose so much money.
Yeah. Yeah.
How are they going to give it to Jerry Harvey? How's he going to make his living? This is really straight from What's Your Favourite Movie? This is really taken. I'm so sorry I've taken us to...
This is the name of the game.
Always happens. What the fuck is happening?
What the fuck is happening? Great. Good. Okay, good.
Truly, no.
No, perfect.
Too much to unpack all the time.
Truly.
That's what they say, though. It's the information overload, and it's no wonder that our grandparents' generations are falling for all this bullshit.
Yeah,
because they're so not used to having insane amounts of information constantly in their faces.
Yeah. No, they just had the newspaper, the TV, and the radio.
Yeah, and then thoughts.
They were just fed the lie, believed the lie, and moved on with their life.
Exactly.
And then they let the kids play in the road.
Exactly. And then now when we come and say, actually, this is wrong, these are the facts, they're like, well,
the news told me
you're
this.
A dumb little child.
Yeah. Oh, but our Prime Minister said, but he's lying.
Literally. He's a monster. Whatever. Sorry.
Go watch Friendly Geordies if you want. There's a really great tip for some really good political inside information. Okay. He starts taking down people and then it becomes big public interest and then sort of ideally the rest of Australia does its job. Like he's found some stuff out. He'll go in and research.
Wow.
He was in an Airbnb owned by a politician.
Wow.
And that was not disclosed as a business interest. And so it was really, it's
interesting.
Don't get me started on politics. Really? It's bad.
But okay. Well, back to the news stuff.
Yeah. Right.
Or quickly. We'll do what are you watching?
Oh, okay.
Because this can tie into mine. Is shows like The Cheap Seats. I don't know if you guys.
Oh, I've heard of that. What is that?
I feel like I saw basically a TikTok about this morning.
Hosted by Melanie Bracewell and Tim. I want to say McDonald, but It's kind of like a have you been paying attention kind of thing where it's like they take clips from the news throughout the past week and they unpack all the news.
Yes, I've seen it all over TikTok. Yes.
Yeah, they're pushing really hard on the
Mel.
TikTok.
Yes.
I feel like I saw
Melanie
one this morning
Bracewell.
about the
Yeah,
Met
she's
Gala.
But
That's what I...
their show is really good because it kind of, it's going to sound bad, but trivializes the news
Yes.
Yeah.
in a certain way with like the Sky News, the Alan Jones of it all.
Yeah.
Just pulling out a single clip is like enough for people to go, oh,
Yeah.
it's so stupid.
You should go onto ABC iView if you love the cheap seats and look at Mad as Hell with Sean McAuliffe.
Yeah.
It's so funny. He makes fun of just everything.
Wow.
Like media and
Love that.
politicians, and it's very well done.
Love that.
He's Sean McAuliffe is fantastic. Didn't they show a uncensored penis on that like a couple months ago by accident?
Probably.
I think they
That
did.
fits with the vibe.
That's why I love it.
Yeah.
Waiting for that uncensored penis to appear.
Okay. And but I don't. What else am I watching?
I don't know.
Okay, you know what I watched, which I don't know why I watched and I don't know how. The D'Amelio Show, which is obviously the Charlie and Dixie D'Amelio's Keeping Up with
Yeah.
Kardashians.
Yeah.
I
didn't know it had
never
actually started
seen
airing.
one of their TikToks ever.
No.
I'd not seen a single one of the dance
Me
things,
either.
a single one of their
Addison Rae.
interviews, anything.
Never ever.
But I was like, well, if this is going to be the new Keeping Up with the Kardashians, I may as well give it a go.
Oh, dear.
And I watched it, and I kind of love it.
Oh.
Yeah, the clips I've seen have been good. I'm just too old to understand.
Well,
Like the dancing is just.
I'm on the
Weird.
verge. I'm like, they're editing this in such a way that it's so clearly designed for TikTok audiences, but then on the other hand, it goes for a full 30 minutes.
Wow.
A full 30 minutes. That's not that long.
No, as in like it's a 20-minute show. Like
I thought it
it's
was a
half-hour
documentary.
show. No,
The documentary, 25 minutes.
it's like, but it's like every scene has hate comments
Oh.
constantly popping up on the screen.
That's weird.
Like the point of it
I
is,
get why they did that.
the point of it is basically about mental health and how
Oh,
it affects
escaping.
these people who didn't ask for fame and then they're just embracing it and using it to their advantage. But like the first episode, I think you see the older sister have a full hardcore mental breakdown because
Yes.
of these comments.
Right.
And that's the point of the show. And I love that. But from like a reality TV drama point of view, there's not a lot going on in their lives. But I'm glad that they utilized it in the way that they did for the hate stuff, but it's literally constantly
But see,
new hate comments popping up.
everyone knows that. Everyone knows they get hate. I don't think it's
Yeah.
ever going to change. I think the people who troll people will watch that and go, great.
Yeah.
And the people like us that will probably go, I don't get them.
Yeah.
But we don't comment that under the video.
Yeah.
We're going to be like, oh, all
Exactly.
of them.
Yeah.
I make sure I definitely won't comment what I was never going to comment anyway.
Yeah.
And so like handling trolling online is, I mean, you do it in the safety of your bedroom. Like, you're on watching these people. So you're like, oh, I can say whatever I want. I'm in my own home.
Yeah.
Well, you'd never say that face to face out in
You'd
public.
hope. Yeah.
Actually, my favorite example of that is, I think last week, Andy Cohen from The Real Housewives posted an Instagram DM he got, which was like, you're a terrible father, you're a single gay dad, you're going to hell, you shouldn't be doing this, you're ruining his life.
Oh my God.
And then Andy Cohen replied, and he was like, sorry, why am I a bad father? And they replied back, and they're like, oh, I'm actually a huge fan of you. I thought you'd never see this, so I was just being bullshit, hoping for attention.
What
And he
the
was like, what? What?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
So it's even the fans that are like monsters. It's just for attention, which makes sense.
I've learned because I've replied to a few, like, there'll be ones that are like, you're a fat piece of shit. And I laugh and we collect those and then we read them out in a video. But then there are ones that will cut really deep.
Yeah.
Where they write a big essay about what you've done and why, you know, what you've done wrong. And I'll tend to go, okay, well,
You have issues.
if it's a DM, I can give them the time sometimes.
Yeah.
I'd never reply to a comment 'cause
Yeah.
there's no point.
Yeah.
And then of the two that I ended up writing back to, they were like, oh, we've been following you for so long. I'm a really big fan. I'm so sorry I was having a bipolar episode or I was having mental health issues. And then I started to understand, I was like, oh, this is where this comes from in a lot of people. They'll be, you don't know what they're going through in their life. All you see is that horrible negative comment. You take it really personally.
Yeah.
And then that's how, I mean, I don't get that much hate. But that's when I do.
Everyone loves me.
I'm like, yeah. I'm just so well loved. It's just because I don't do anything polarizing.
Yeah.
I put on a wig. And I'm like, I'm a mum.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Your paint videos are iconic.
oh god,
Just
it's so lazy. Such lazy content. But it's having that understanding of you feel sorry for them.
Yeah.
You go, well, I'm so sorry for you. Yeah, that's me, the gold latte. That's mine. And I'll be taking my, sipping in the sun.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild. Anyway,
I feel like I don't know. I feel like I'm like the type of person who there's like, as you were saying, there's like a half, it's like, okay, whatever, you laugh at some of them, and then others you like take them. I feel like I would like cry for a long time if everyone like picked apart me as a person or things I do. I'd be like, oh, they hate me.
Yeah, it's definitely a daunting thing.
Yeah.
But also, I've also come to realize I will heavily criticize a politician, but I think Scott Morrison's doing a terrible job, but I'm not the leader of Australia.
Yeah.
So it's really easy for me to go, this is what the call I would have made. There's no pressure in it.
Yeah.
So when people are commenting about things you should or shouldn't do, they're doing it from a very comfortable position where they have no responsibility.
Yeah, they don't understand everything that's going
when
into
someone
it,
will criticize you, it hurts because you're like, oh my God, this is my work. But then, they don't understand, and then they also don't have that pressure, and then you've got to, it can be an ego hit.
Yeah.
So you've got to, I'll instantly get angry and defensive.
Yeah.
And so what I do is I just sit on my hands. Don't reply, just scream.
Yeah.
Scream what you would say. And then I calm down and go, thank fuck I didn't say.
Yeah.
Because I understand what they're saying and I get it from their point of view. And I was just being defensive and I had a big ego and a bit of a narcissist. So I got over that.
Yeah.
Good point. Type that back in. I will not do that again, or I'll change it up, or I will be more this or that.
This actually happened to me over the weekend. Funny, it was about the business, so maybe we can cut this out. I don't know, but I posted in like a Facebook group, being like, I need someone to assist me with this event tomorrow night. Someone's dropped out. $20 an hour cash, only for 3 hours. I just need like some help serving food. The amount of people who were like, oh my God, that's illegal. That's so below the minimum wage, which by the way, it's not. They were like, I'm going to report you to Fair Work, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, it's 3 hours. I'm going to give them cash and give them dinner as well. I don't know. I don't think it's that bad.
Yeah. No, but people will absolutely go to town.
Yeah.
There was a clip of, again, TikTok, Antiques Roadshow, and this guy had this Navajo hand-woven rug. It was worth $500,000.
Wow.
He was shocked. No context as to his life.
Yeah.
No idea what his nationality or his background is, but everyone was like, he stole it, he needs to donate it.
Wow.
And then you had all of these Native Americans being like, well, hang on a minute. No, our culture is we give, we barter, we trade. We don't know where that came from. And so it's sort of that, and it's all that sort of, I hate using this word and saying, because like white privilege, people being like, give it back. And it's like, fucking, you got no idea.
Yeah.
I mean, you're living on stolen land. Give that back.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's really true. There's like an interesting, like white people almost like have put themselves in this position where they're like, we've done something wrong, so we're the only ones who can fix it, and the only way we're going to fix it is by ignoring everybody else and doing what we think is the right thing. Like, that's a perfect example. They're like, donate it, whereas Native Americans are like, well, hang on.
No, how did he get it?
Yeah.
Let's just ask that question. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. Okay. So what are you watching, Christian?
Okay, this is a very lowbrow answer.
Yeah.
I have been watching, there's 30 seasons of South Park, and I'm currently at season 14.
Wow.
On YouTube, you can just buy them for like $6 the whole season.
When did you start?
Last night.
Maybe about a month ago.
Oh, wow.
I just, literally, it's the first thing I do. I go home, eat dinner, watch South Park.
Yeah.
Love that.
I just love it.
Love that.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
It's very good.
I was not allowed to watch that.
Oh, God, no.
Yeah, no.
Is it interesting watching it now, the early seasons? Because South Park, correct me if I'm wrong, isn't the whole point that they churn out the episodes really fast from when they go into production to when it airs?
It's like a week before they write.
Holy shit.
Animate.
It's so that they can have super current cultural references and shit. Is it interesting?
Yeah, because some of it was so controversial. I remember episodes being just talked about, and then you watch it now, and it's even more controversial because it's funny because especially there's a character, Mr. Garrison, who's a trans character and is represented terribly.
Yeah.
And then like it's South Park's a really interesting one because I watched them talk about the two creators, Matt and Trey. Can't think of their last names. Matt Parker, Trey Stone.
Yeah.
Yep, great, good word. And the question was, why is South Park not being cancelled? Why is it not a part of cancel culture? And he said because he thinks it's the first. They're more a comment, but they're also they push the boundary too far. They also, and then they're the very first sort of cartoon to do that they're now sort of it's their thing.
Yeah.
So they did it when it was that cancel culture sort of didn't exist.
Yeah.
And it's become their thing and people know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
And even the creators are saying like, we do shit and we go, we're done.
Yeah.
We're finished. And then they go, oh, nothing happened from that.
Wow.
And
wow.
Yeah.
Huh. I'd be.
Oh, some of it's really bad, and I'm like, don't laugh. But it's just so.
It's interesting hearing that they're self-aware like that.
Yeah. Wow.
Because like, I know them mostly from like the Book of Mormon and stuff. Because I'm a nerd. And in a musical where there's literally a song about like called like "Fuck You God."
Wow.
The whole thing's about religion and shit. I'm like, it's interesting hearing that these people are actually like.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They know, but they're doing this. They introduce these characters and they write these very unpolitically correct storylines to almost prove a point sometimes.
Yeah.
It's not what they believe.
Yeah.
But they write it so it gets a reaction from someone so people can really think about what has just been said. I mean, that's what they say.
No, it totally is that.
And they just signed a $1 billion contract to write another 6 seasons
and movies.
Holy
6
shit.
movie or 3-4 movies
Yeah.
and some seasons. So much money. And it was fascinating what they were saying. It was like, what did you do with the South Park money? Well, we wanted to do something so different. They wrote the Book of Mormon, the musical. And because that episode is one of their best where they just really make fun of how the Mormon religion became a thing. Look, each to their own. It's just... Yep. And then they were like, well, the Book of Mormon has made them so much money. So like, well, we're going to go off and we're going to create something, again, totally random and different. We don't know what that is.
Wow.
Now they have $1 billion.
That's crazy. I can't even.
Cutting out little coloured pieces of card.
Yeah. Wow.
Back in the day.
Wow. I can't even comprehend. Oh my goodness. Even the idea of having to lock into 6 more seasons of content, I'd be like, oh, like, are they sick of it at this point? I'd been gone for a
it
little
scared me
while.
enough that the Rick and Morty peoples, when they got renewed a few years ago, they signed on for like 80 episodes or something.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
What did you think of the last season?
I haven't watched it yet. That's not true. I've watched the first 3 or 4.
Okay.
I haven't seen it at all.
I don't know.
I didn't like season 5.
I feel like I'm kind of becoming desensitized to Rick and Morty. Like it's not as fresh as it once was.
Maybe that's why, because I didn't really like the episodes. They got a lot of praise. Anyways, sorry. What are you watching?
No, not really anything.
Cinderella.
yeah, okay, watch Cinderella. No.
Harry Styles documentary.
Obviously.
He looks at me in the eyes. Sorry, I'm really being mean.
Told me he loved me.
To me only. Are you too busy? Are you just like, too
it's
busy?
been a bit busy the last couple of weeks. What I was watching most recently was Lucifer, and the new season of that just came out, and so I'm like, that's what I'm going to do this week. Now I've got some free time.
It looks good.
Yeah, I'm
Do you
keen.
watch?
No. I've watched 1-2 episodes, but
Yeah, the
Just for
early
that.
seasons were
the
bad.
lead. They're just for the lead actor.
Yeah.
But also
yeah.
Sabrina. Have you watched Sabrina?
The,
No.
the Netflix one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I watched a couple
Oh,
episodes.
Didn't like it.
I think it was the person I was watching it with. She wasn't vibing, so I was like, oh, no,
right.
now I'm not vibing.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of fell off when it was starting to become more Riverdale musical
Oh, I'm
episodes.
obsessed. No, I love that. Obsessed. And then the guy that plays Lucifer.
Yeah.
Oh,
he
the
in that?
He's on
Australian
TikTok.
Luke Cook?
Is he Australian?
No.
Which Lucifer?
Oh, sorry. The Lucifer in Sabrina.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
Luke Cook. He's
okay.
Australian.
Is he?
Yeah.
I thought he sounds British.
No, he's Australian. The
skinny tall guy.
Yeah.
Oh, he's on TikTok and he does the most hilarious, mostly shirtless TikToks.
Yeah,
Wow,
he's
perfect.
really, really hot.
Okay, all right. I'll just
And I
give him a
think
follow on
bisexual.
TikTok.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Perfect.
definitely.
Wow. That
Because some of
caters
the
for all of
TikToks
us.
he's done and the things he's reacted to, I'm like, oh, he enjoys a bit of the vitamin D.
Yeah. Yeah.
Allegedly, I don't know that for sure. I just, in my mind, go, please, 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 please.
That was literally just, I think, like a week or two ago, one of his videos went viral because he was just arching his back in a very specific way on his all fours.
Oh, maybe
So it
that's
was
why
like-
I'm just like, well, he can't be straight.
I was like, oh.
Yeah.
It's like
He knows
everything
what
Shawn
he's
Mendes
doing.
does is like
Oh, poor Sean.
so scrutinized. It's wild.
It's poor Sean.
I know, I feel really bad for him.
Just let him live his life.
Exactly.
Do his thing.
He looked great at the Met Gala.
That was really good, yeah.
Yeah.
It's always so funny to me that whenever him and Camilla go to like a fashion show, he always upstages her.
Yeah.
Does he? Because I really liked her look too.
I liked it, but I don't think it was as flattering for her as it could have been. I feel like
Did you see her-
design is just like
I'm gonna
kind
go
of-
shit on Cinderella again. Did you see her premiere look for
my
Cinderella?
God.
No.
horrific.
But I saw, she looked really nice when she was doing the James Corden thing in the middle of the street. She had the princess gown
She
on.
did.
Yeah.
That was really
It's like,
cool.
oh, that outfit. Just stay in that outfit.
forever.
Great. Wear a tiara always. I love her. Did I meet Fifth Harmony? Was she Fifth Harmony?
She was.
Yeah, I met her.
Did you?
So when I worked in radio,
Oh my god.
Fifth Harmony, before Fifth Harmony they were big,
Big.
but before they really hit the big time,
Yeah.
they were doing an Australian sort of promo tour, and they
Wild.
came in, and they were all really, really lovely.
My favorite part about that story is you weren't sure at the beginning.
No, because the girl group that I had a better interaction with, who I love, Little Mix. So I saw Perry Edwards' boob.
Oh my god.
So they were
stop.
doing a rooftop performance. So the big famous thing
Yeah.
with the radio station I worked at was Fox FM in Melbourne, the
Right.
world famous rooftop.
Okay,
They would have concerts.
yeah.
So Justin Bieber, I'd met sort of briefly Justin Bieber.
How is this only just coming up now?
And so Little Mix, I was part of a film crew, and then they were doing an interview for the radio show that I was working on, and I was waiting there, and they're actually legitimately four of the best friends.
Wow.
And their behind the scenes chatter and how they were supporting
Aw,
each other,
that's
and
cute.
and they just didn't give a shit. And Perry was looking at me while I was sort of sitting, and she goes, "Can you see my boobs through this?" And then the other one, like Jessie, was like, "Oh God, you can." And then the boob was out, and then they were just fixing it, and they were about to go out and do performance. It was really, they were all laughing. She's like, "I'm so sorry. Were you rolling on that?" I was like, I wasn't. The publicist comes over, and I'm like, "Look, I'll show you what." And they're like, "Yeah, no boob photos, please." And they were like, "Ha ha ha ha! You make a fortune from my boob photos," and they were just so lovely.
Aw.
That's really wholesome.
That's so cute. Wow, that's a great story.
Yeah, no,
Aw.
I stand Little Mix.
Yeah, they seem really cute.
I was just about to sing a song, and it wasn't theirs. Because you gotta go to work. That is
That's Fifth Harmony.
Yeah.
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 Could be Normani in that video.
Yeah.
Game changing.
All of them. Oh my gosh. And then I can leave
Oh,
you.
wow.
When the Fifth Harmony did their performance for the first time after Camilla left, and they had that fake person fall. I was like,
so fucking funny.
so good.
I was living my best life that day.
That was like, but that's like
funny.
Fifth Harmony. The difference between Fifth Harmony and Little Mix is Little Mix didn't have a character of when
Jessie,
yeah.
Jessie left fall behind them. I was like, that is bitter.
That is petty,
Bitter.
and it is so funny.
It's so funny.
But
Wow.
no, that's I really don't like that.
Oh,
It's the shirt.
It
for
looks
me.
like two
love
completely different
that.
outfits.
I actually love that.
Okay, you're wrong.
You're wrong.
Who was the designer of the dress? It looks like
A 2-year-old.
Stop it! You're going to regret that. It's those really famous designers, and they carve out tulle. And they carve. Oh my god!
The skirt is beautiful.
It is. If it was paired with something
matched.
Well, mute your
top half
microphone.
was.
But see, I think she's definitely no. She's not upstairs. Sean,
She's
woeful in
absolutely
that. He's wearing a
gorgeous.
see-through top and white pants.
I'm not gonna lie. I didn't look at Sean at all just then. I was only looking at her. So
Yeah, I was just
Oh,
pointing
I
out
think
her
she
dress. I
looks-
think that dress is.
There was some shocking Met Gala numbers,
The skirt is gorgeous, but the top.
but I mean, it looks like a Supre top. But in that combination, it works really well. 'Cause she's got $1 million like ball gown on.
Yeah.
And then this little
She is
super number.
absolutely not self-aware
And
enough
then
to know
the-
that that's
Wow.
like...
Oh, yeah, probably. And that beautiful 60s sort of bob.
Yeah.
Mm.
She's very beautiful. And the thing I really love about her recently is her body positivity thing she's kind of got going on with because she's been very vocal about how she's put weight on in lockdown. Is no one else aware of this?
No.
No.
Oh,
I think
okay.
I thought...
She's put weight on.
I know.
During lockdown.
Where?
Yeah.
Where?
Oh.
Isn't it bad that like she's got to be like, guys, I've put weight on? It's like, well, no one can notice it. Oh, only because you're a singer with a paparazzi with a zoom camera. That
Yeah,
zooms.
exactly.
It's like when the Kardashians get the photos that they're different though. That's a little bit toxic. When they're like, oh no, don't show a real photo of how I look.
Oh,
Pull that down.
Chloe.
I'm
You're
like,
talking about Chloe, yeah.
Chloe.
Yeah.
Oh, even Kim. Like
Yeah.
photos came out when she's bawling because you can see some cellulite.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
that's-
Kim, but you're so open about your like psoriasis all on your legs. Like,
Yeah.
everyone has
I
cellulite.
literally watched a season of Kim and Courtney Take New York where they got olive oil enemas and they shit themselves on the bed and you can't show us your cellulite.
Have you ever noticed skin filters in movies?
Movies.
You'll notice it now.
Okay, you're not going to watch it because it's a movie musical, but the new Dear Evan Hansen movie,
Oh, full of it. Oh, yeah, because they're all
Ben
40-year-olds
Platt's 30,
playing.
like 33 or something.
Did they use it on his beard?
No, so they caked him in makeup. He looks like a android.
So this is Ben Platt, who is what? He's probably
He's in
late 20s.
No, he's
No.
like 30 something.
30
Okay.
something, yeah.
Playing a
Okay.
16-year-old.
Yeah, because he played it in the musical.
Right.
Makes sense.
But as people
But
say,
then-
there's no close-ups in musicals.
Yeah. Well, you're off in the distance
Exactly.
on a tiny stage. Yeah.
They are slightly digitally enhancing him.
Like, to make him look younger.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whack.
Well, these skin filters have been around for an eternity, and you know how you can get on Snapchat and you use that filter. It's
Yeah.
that technology, but from 10 years ago, and then they apply it over. It's awful over actresses.
Wild.
So you'd have an older female or just any males and females, and it smooths the skin out and it gets rid of a lot of like the turkey neck.
Yeah.
So sometimes you watch it and you go, how does this person have epically flawless skin? You
Yeah.
must be real. It's a movie. It's not
Yeah.
an image.
Yeah.
But they use this very sophisticated technology.
Interesting.
Wild.
Wow. In the latest season of Lucifer, another one that just came out, season 5, one of the actresses, I don't know what they did and I haven't been able to find out, but they did something really weird with her mouth. And you can tell every time she talks, her mouth just moves a little bit. It was like Henry Cavill when they got rid of the moustache. Yeah, it was like that, but on her bottom lip. I was like, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what was wrong, but it's so obvious and so uncomfortable to watch her talk.
Which
It's
character?
Like the therapist.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe she had a bad Botox.
Yeah.
Trying to
Yeah,
correct it.
Now
that's
we need to
kind of
know.
what it looked like. It's really, it's weird. Yeah. Okay, well, you research that. We'll move on to the next one.
Which is book.
Book. Do you
If
have a book?
I
You don't have to.
There's a great book called Leave Me Alone by Christian Hull.
This is late in the game to
nanny?
drop this. I've listened to half the audiobook.
Uh-oh. Yeah. You stop listening because
Because I had
it
to.
was boring. That's
Because I listen at work and then
That's a good
I
one to
started on
fall
Friday.
asleep to.
But no, it's really good. It's so funny, and you do a fantastic job at narrating as well.
That was 2 8-hour days of sitting
Wow.
down and reading a book. Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to talk about my book. I started when I was a kid. I started to read the Bible. I thought I was going to get through the Bible. I really wanted to read the Bible, and then I got like 3 pages in. I was like, there is 45,000 thin pages. So bin that. My mum read Harry Potter to me. So Harry Potter, and then I bought a really gay novel when I was, this is so wanky. I was on holidays in Port Douglas, and I stumbled into a secondhand bookshop, and I bought one called Holding the Man,
Okay.
which turned into a
Yeah.
movie recently.
Yeah.
And it's a story about young gay boys in school falling in love, but in like the 70s.
Isn't it like tragic? Though?
Oh, it was so sad.
Yeah.
And then they get older, and then they, one dies. Yeah.
Oh.
And I read that in 2 days. It was a great book.
Wow.
I don't read. So
Yeah,
my
okay.
mum read to me. I was 13 or 14. She read Harry Potter. I had 3 younger brothers, and I would sit in when she was reading to them. So it wasn't like she was weirdly reading to a 13-year-old son. But I'd be like, I just can't be bothered. I'll just go in and sit in and she can read it.
Fair.
So I really loved Harry Potter, though. I did read the books. There was 2. She read the first 2 and then was like, I can do the third one.
I can do
I'm
this myself.
old enough now. I'm 15.
I can handle it. Were you one of those people who were like waiting in line when the last one came? No, didn't like it that much.
Nah, I was
Fair.
Nah.
Fair. I actually have only read the first few. I haven't read the last ones. I've seen all the movies and stuff, but haven't. I don't know.
Yeah, people are like, oh, you have to read them and the movies are different. Nah, it's the same.
Yeah, they're the exact same.
It's exactly the
Exact
same.
same.
You don't need to read the books.
Okay, good.
If you've seen the movie,
Perfect. You're the first people who have ever said that. So
But you can't watch a movie and then read a book and not imagine the movie.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
true.
Got to read the book first. And if you haven't done
You
that,
really
no
do.
point.
Yeah, I agree.
I literally read Deathly Hallows. I think I finished it the day before
Oh, wow.
part 1 came out. Or
Oh,
part
wow,
2, I can't
yeah.
remember
But do
which
you
one.
envisage like Daniel Radcliffe as Harry Potter?
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
When I started reading Harry Potter, I mean, it hadn't been cast,
Yeah.
and so I definitely had not envisaged that. And so then Harry Potter morphs and changes. That was weird.
Yeah, but no, I saw the movies like the day after, and having the book that fresh in my mind, they're like identical. So
And also how to pronounce Hermione.
Hermione.
Yeah, Hermione. Hermione. I was like, no, it's Hermione. That's what I've been saying in my head this whole time.
Honestly, kind of a good drag name. Hermione.
Heard me moan? Heard me own.
Hey!
Yeah, maybe.
Perfect.
There
Wow.
you go.
2 brains, 1 great name.
Anyway, back to your book.
Oh.
Nah, it's fine.
But I have to talk about one thing in it.
Okay, uh-oh.
No, it's one part that I was sitting at work listening to the audiobook, and I was cackling at one specific part where you described yourself as a cross between Squidward and Liberace.
Did I?
You did.
That's a really great description.
Right, it's so fucking funny. It had me genuinely laughing
I mean,
out loud at
it's
work.
hurtful that you laugh because you're like, that is true. He is Squidward and Liberace. Just blah, 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 blah. That's actually a really good description.
That is.
I'm surprised by some of the things people repeat. They're like, I really like the story of. I'm like, did I tell that?
I was
Wow.
trying to keep that one private. Wow.
Yeah, no, it was
Interesting.
fantastic. Yeah.
Okay, question about it. And you don't have to answer if this is like super secret. But did you actually write it, or did you have someone like help
Oh
you
my
write
God,
it?
you
or-
piece of shit.
That should have been our hard-hitting question at the end.
That's a great hard-hitting question. This annoys me so much because I spent 4 long years
Yeah.
writing this book, and the overwhelming question I get is, you got a ghostwriter, didn't you? I'm like, firstly, the book is littered with errors that even the editor didn't pick up. My father did. He came out with a red pen. There's a page. It's here. You've not here. Grammar here. This is not. I'm like, oh my
Completely
God.
unsolicited.
Yeah. I was like, Dad, I wrote a book and it got published. He's like, great, full of errors. Meanwhile,
wrong.
Mum's like, this is the best thing I've ever read.
Showing all her friends.
She read Harry Potter to us. You know, like that's a compliment. And then Dad's just like highlighting all the problems. No, I did.
Yeah, wow.
I actually wrote the book. Here's the thing that was really difficult. So I wrote down. I started writing it. I went through a bit of. I hated my job. I was like, I need to remember the good times. No, I grew up in Sydney. I was living in Melbourne. Take me back to my childhood. I had a really great childhood. So I started writing funny stories from that.
Yeah.
And then it sort of turned into this whole thing. And I was writing, and then a publisher said, you interested in doing a book deal? And I was like, oh, I've actually got this 12,000 words. They were like, great,
Wow.
keep going. So for the next 4 years, I sort of kept going. There was like 75,000 words they wanted. I was like, piss off. I got to 50, and even that was a stretch. I totally forgot the point I was making.
You wrote it.
Yeah, I wrote the book.
No one else helped.
I don't know why I'd launched into that sentence. It's very reminiscent of me and the book.
You started telling us why you started writing it.
I don't. Yeah,
To reminisce.
yeah, that wasn't the point though.
Not getting it back on. Okay.
Wow. Anyways, no, I did write it, and you can tell because. Oh no! This was the point I was going to make. Sorry, I wrote it in such an eclectic manner all over the shop, and then when I looked at it, I was like, "This is not a book," and I was really upset. I was like, "It doesn't flow," and then the publisher wanted me to put it in a theme, and I was like, "It doesn't work." I was trying to make all of these stories fit, and I was like, tears. I was like, "Pull it! We're not doing it!" and then my manager was like, "Calm the fuck down, mate. We'll just tell them this is what you want, and this is what you're having trouble with." I had spoken to the publisher. This was all in my head. And then they're like, okay, great. That's fine. We'll give you an editor. And so I had this editor come on who just restructured everything.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I was like, this it's amazing. And then she would give me some joining paragraphs to write. And then sometimes she was like, here's room for a joke. Here's room for a joke here. And she would put in a joke and I would be like, well, I can't top that. I'm like, can I just leave you joking? So I think there's 3 or 4 moments. She was like, yeah, of course. Well, I was like, I'm just going to claim her joke. Poor Emma is her name. Emma Rafferty, thank you. She just wrote some funny shit. So there's 4 in there and a few people go, oh my God, this line is so funny. And I was like, that's not my line. Oh, that's not me. The only bit I liked were these 4 lines. That is not me.
Wow.
That's really interesting.
Okay, well, to be fair, my question didn't have anything to do with you specifically. It was more just I'm generally intrigued.
Yeah, that was a really bold question. What if he was like, oh.
Yeah. No, I'm just like...
edit it out. It was ghostwritten.
I would have loved that. No, just like celebrity memoirs in general. I'm like...
Yeah, Zoella had, do you know Zoella? Famous YouTuber.
Yeah.
Yeah, her first book she came out with, she'd written, it wasn't a book about her, it was a novel, it was a story.
God. A fictional one, yeah.
It was all ghostwritten.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think she had very minimal input. So it was,
wow.
But here's the thing, I'm no literary genius. The only reason I got a book deal was because I have 1 million people on Facebook. Mm. So I can market products. I can market things. The opportunities I have been given. You know, Ride Like a Girl, the movie, I knew it came down to the fact that I was a marketing asset.
Yeah.
They needed a character, 3 lines.
Yeah.
Let's get Christian. He has huge reach in a demographic that we love.
Yeah.
I didn't need them to tell me that. I knew that. And so I was like, this will keep me in the film.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you know, this 1 million, whatever, Facebook followers. And so I was like, all right, I'll help them promote it and I'll do it. But they didn't ask for that.
Yeah.
But you can just tell. And the book deal, I mean, they only came to me, do you want to write a book? Because I could sell it.
Yeah.
You know, and I've got some amazingly loyal followers that I'm cashing in on. You know, I sell them things with fuck off written all over them. They're pendants. And so with that marketability comes all the opportunities. It doesn't come from talent.
I was just about to say, I don't think you should be selling your short.
I think you are selling your short.
Yeah.
No, if you could just peel that curtain back, mate, there is no talent. I edit, like, I'll film for 90 minutes. There's maybe 90 seconds worth of talent in there. Great, there's a Facebook video.
Who doesn't? Who doesn't? Stop it. No, you've been great today. Oh,
you are a genuinely good writer.
Yeah.
Again, thank Emma for that. She restructured that. I appreciate. I'm not good at taking compliments, but thank you.
And also with your podcast, anyone that can entertain for half an hour by themselves, all by their lonesomes,
the podcast
is really
weird.
impressive.
You know what I didn't realize, because I do the podcast alone.
Yeah,
I really yet to find someone that does a podcast alone, because no one is that fucking stupid enough to launch into. Most of the podcast is this. Oh, just get some water. Pouring some water.
But you make it entertaining.
The door's
it's
gone.
Insane.
I'm getting a delivery. It's just 20 minutes of like me sitting in a chair being like, oh, well, let me go through my emails.
You did a few weeks ago, you did the Am I Gay quiz. No, not the Am I Gay. Am I a Slut quiz, gay and straight versions.
Oh, yeah. And
so
man
funny.
and woman, the difference.
It was so funny.
Are you a woman? You're a slut. You know,
yeah.
Are you a man? We'll answer these really in-depth questions. You're definitely not a slut.
As far as I'm concerned, that was investigative journalism.
Yeah. I didn't realise going into it. I was like, I just want to be a slut. And then I was like, men wouldn't get asked these questions. Do you know I did one recently?
Proving sexism exists.
I did. Oh, 1,000%. Men's health. Is your woman a slut? It's just so bad. And then jumping on the quiz train, it's not a quiz, I did the Scientology personality test online and I was like blown away. I'm like,
oh my gosh.
There's so many questions about your financial...
Really?
I'm like, how does that determine a personality? I'm like, one, they're trying to work out how wealthy you are and how they can manipulate you. Yeah. Oh, I went off on a rant. It's a 2-parter coming up. The Scientology, because it's 200 questions. And I got half an hour. So I only do 20-minute episodes.
Wow.
And so I got half an hour in. I was like, oh, well, we're done here. I'll just turn this into 2 episodes, draw it out, stretch out the content. Man, it's wild. It's really fascinating. The things
and that's why they prey on celebrities and stuff. For the financial aspect?
No, so, well, don't. This is a whole
sorry.
It's like Scientology.
We'll wait for the podcast and we'll wait in...
They lure you in. They, you know. Oh my God! Again, I've watched so many documentaries on Scientology because I hate it. They lie. It's all lies. It's all for financial. It's a business. It's not a religion.
It's basically an
and
MLM.
that you hold. It's 1,000% an MLM.
Yeah.
It's book selling MLM and courses. It's so an MLM. I never thought of that. They make you hold these two contraptions, like I'm holding two glasses in front of me right now, and then someone on the other side has a machine that doesn't even do anything, and they go, "Would you do this? Would you?" And so they're trying to get you to say stuff. And then they get you to divulge some personal secrets about you. It's all documented. And then they have all this information that they blackmail you with.
And you can't leave.
Not straight away. Yeah, that's why you can't leave, because they've got this information on you. Like Tom Cruise can't leave, probably because they have information on him. Speculative.
Allegedly. For legal reasons.
And like...
Wait, do you mean they were asking these secrets in your quiz that you were just taking?
No.
You mean,
so
okay,
once
later
you go
on.
to the
Yeah.
church,
Okay, right.
you go in and
right.
they get you in, and a lot of the people that will join up will be just at low points that just need some direction.
Exactly.
And then this church offers them so-called that direction at a price.
Yeah.
And whereas there was another video went down a rabbit hole of a guy who pretends to be homeless, goes to the church. They're like, we need $50 for this book and whatnot. And he goes, well, I don't have the money. We'll go out and beg for it. And you're like, oh, Jesus. Then he goes to a Catholic priest who's in the middle of a conversation with a bunch of people and goes, oh, I'm homeless. I would like to. And he's like, yep, absolutely. Every Sunday you can come in. So I would love to read the scriptures. And he goes, yep, well, there's a bookshop over there. We've got our church bookshop. I don't have any money. He goes, well, just put it on my tab. Wow. So the priest goes, well, I'll pay for it. And like that, at least the Catholics are like trying to be a religion. Yeah. You know, where Scientology is blatantly like, books. And then when L. Ron Hubbard died, who created the religion, he was the guy that wrote the books. He was the spiritual one. Who's going to write the books? Yep. Oh, we found errors in his writing. Yeah. So they would change minute... That was a spelling error. God. Everyone must now repurchase the books.
Wow.
And you're like, that's how they're making the money.
Wow.
Oh,
and isn't there heaven like aliens and shit or something?
South Park did a whole episode on it.
Okay.
This
is fascinating.
Their theory of... So, L. Ron Hubbard was a science fiction writer.
Yes.
Who then started a religion.
Yeah.
Now, so...
Girl boss.
Their theory... His theory of, like... There's just so many layers to this.
Sorry.
You pay millions of dollars to earn certain pieces of information of how the world became into existence. That's
right, yeah.
Freedom of information is now totally out there. And South Park got a hold of it. They were one of the first people to really make it public. Years and years and years ago. And it's a fucking brilliant episode because it ends, because the church will sue anyone that criticizes them, and it ends with this fake argument of Stan yelling, so sue us. Sue us all. Sue it. Like... pretty much to camera, talking to Scientology, and then the credits flash up, and everyone that's worked on that show is called John Smith.
Iconic.
So funny. John Smith and Jane Doe.
That's
so there's no one attached.
Oh, that's so good.
That is really
Look, I won't talk about it, but like the overarching belief is that there was an evil overlord, Xenu, who captured all of the evil people in the universe, then collected their bodies and flew them in a DC-9, true story, which is a plane from the 70s. It was very popular, like a 747. And we're talking millions of years ago. In a DC-9 over a volcano in the world, dropped them in. They all burnt and their souls were trapped in the atmosphere, and they now enter our bodies as thetans. And so you have to, it's called going clear, and then you have to clear yourself of those thetans, and then you become who you were meant to be, and then you can go into heaven or whatnot. And so,
what the?
Yeah, the whole religion is making people go clear. So you hold on to these little things, and you clear yourself of all these impurities.
Oh my God!
Which are secrets collected and then used against you to keep getting money from you. And so,
wow!
But the lies. Oh my God, Leah Remini does. She was a famous actress.
I actually watched a part of her
King of
series.
Queens.
Yeah.
She has a fascinating documentary. She was a child. She was brought into the church when she was young.
Wow.
Bought into it. And she's so open. She's like, I bought into it. I thought I thought all these people needed to be cleared.
Wow.
So that they could, and she was so brought on, and she does this. There's this, she's so funny because she's like a classic New Yorker. She's so like loud Italian, like, yeah, what's going on? And there's a scene where
great.
she talks about finding out about these like DC9s, about the
Yeah.
why Scientology exists.
Yeah.
She had no idea. You know, no one was to know. They go out in a boat in the middle of the ocean in legally
Like international
waters, and they get told this secret. Now she's like, at this point, I've invested $5 or $6 million in the church.
Oh
And
my
so I
God.
progressed up the chain to get to OT9, which is the highest
Yeah.
level. She gets this information. Now, her mother is there with her at this time, which you're not allowed to have, but
Wow.
it's Leah Remini.
Yeah.
And the mother is bought in and is so excited for this moment for her daughter. And Leah's like, and I'm reading it. And I'm like, oh my God. She's like, the way she tells this, she does it on a Joe Rogan podcast. It's so funny. Oh my God. I've just wasted my entire life and all this money. And she says, and I look up at my mother, and her mother's like crying, being like, isn't it amazing?
Oh my God.
And Leah's just like, has to be there because they're all there watching her, being like, yes. And she was like,
Game changer.
that was one of the moments where I was like, what the fuck am I doing in this cult?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, and you're just like 6 million or 5 or 6 million that she's put in
Wow.
because she genuinely believed that Scientology was helping people, but she discovered when she left it was all lies.
Yeah.
And what they would do, they would
that's gotta
go
be
to
soul
Haiti
crushing.
in a tornado,
Yeah.
and so everyone would donate within the church,
Yeah.
go to Haiti, and what they would do is they'd send 20 people with a myriad of T-shirts with Scientology on them, hand out the T-shirts to all the poor people. They would wear them, they would take photos, and it would look like
Yeah.
all
They
of
were
these people
donating
were
and-
helping
yeah.
from the
Yeah.
church.
Yeah.
And there was donate more. And so she was
Wow.
like, I just thought
Yeah.
this was all going on.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Oh,
gotta be
it's
devastating.
Wild.
Oh, it's so devastating. And you watch the
Yeah.
people she talks to and how it was like escaping a prison, how they
Yeah.
got out of this complex.
Yes, I've seen. I saw a Louis Theroux documentary. I only went for an hour.
Yeah.
But it was a big focus on how like people getting out and stuff. Yeah, that was
The-
there's,
that's like the
barbed
NXIVM
wire
stuff.
fences.
Well, the
and-
Louis Theroux one, I think, is there screaming involved? Or that's a different BBC documentary. So Louis Theroux talks with a guy who was the second in command of the Church of Scientology. It was basically like the security guard for the leader, who deflected and is now doing this
Oh,
documentary with Leah,
Oh,
and
wow.
talks about what his role was when these people would come to try and expose the church,
Yeah.
and how he would harass them and what they would do to
Wow.
harass these people. It was his job
wow.
to harass and take these people down. And he
my
did
goodness.
a 180 and is now trying to take the church down. And it's
Yeah.
so fascinating.
Wild.
I think that might be the one that I watched. I think it might be the one I watched. Maybe. I don't know. It sounds vaguely familiar.
There's a few, and they're all very similar. And it all ends in the Scientology screaming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
I'm not going to lie, most of the stuff I saw with Leah Remini was on Chelsea Handler's shows.
Oh, I haven't seen any Chelsea stuff.
They're like were besties or something. I don't know, but it's fascinating. That was genuinely like illuminating.
Oh, mate,
Interesting.
if it comes to religion, politics, and conspiracies,
You're there.
I am definitely not the one to get any advice from, but I try my best. I just find it's so fascinating.
Yeah.
And how I find cults so
Me too.
fascinating.
I think literally in like 2019, I messaged Maddie and I was like, "There's a cult in the Gold Coast. Should we maybe go and test the waters?"
There's a really massive one. I'm from Lennox Head next to Byron.
Yeah.
There's a massive one in Byron. I can't remember what it's called. It's like
yes.
the medicine of the heart or a heart. I don't
Yep.
know, something like that. I can't remember exactly, but it's massive.
Yeah,
you walk
truly.
around streets and you see people wearing like the necklaces that have like the logo.
Is this
the
the Pete
brand.
Evans involved, or he's a separate story?
I think
I'm
it's
not
separate.
sure.
Have you
Yeah.
watched Wild West Country?
No.
That's the one in
It's
The
not.
70s?
It's not Hare Krishna, but it's an Indian leader goes to America and they essentially try to take over America, and they get
Wow.
very close to it.
Yeah.
Like their plan is really good,
Wow.
but it just becomes a bit too. It's always the internal struggle within the cult,
Yep.
and then they quabble, and then it just ruins everything.
Yeah, of course. Of course. Power struggles. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
where-
we should probably do the last question,
Yeah.
which
we
is
got one more.
if you have one, a cultural moment.
Cultural
that
moment.
Leah Remini's takedown of the Church of Scientology.
Okay. Amazing.
Is that what it actually is?
No, but like
That is a good
I
one.
feel like that's. I just
Yeah.
I want her to take them down.
That would
Fair.
Get rid of their tax exempt status, and
Yeah.
as she says, you get rid of that status. They're financially not doing great. They'll be destroyed.
a
Love
hero's
that.
journey.
Do it. Hero's journey.
Good for her. She needs. what's Employee of the Month? What's the Earth equivalent of
Person of the month.
Time Magazine's Person of the Year?
Yeah, perfect.
Person of the Year.
Out of curiosity, what's the one you wrote down?
I wrote down, well, obviously, just COVID happening has been so...
Okay.
It's changed everything
Interesting.
I have had thought I wanted to do. You know, I
Yeah.
now have a very... it's relatively successful online store. I've learnt that, well, I mean...
It's pretty successful.
Look, it started really successfully with one viral TikTok. I made $500,000 in 6 months. Having never run a business and having no business experience. Great way to start a business. Unrealistic.
Yeah.
I couldn't continue it. And I thought I was going to. So spent a lot of money, reinvested, learned a lot of lessons. I put a lot of money into a new product. I didn't get it tested or developed. I just thought it would sell. You know, because the first thing I ever released was this pendant.
Yep.
It was a gimmick. So it was... I was into crystals. I got into crystals. Speaking of Byron, I got into the crystals and more for an aesthetic reason.
Yeah,
I'm like,
fair.
it's fucking bullshit. They do not provide healing energy.
Yeah.
Come on. But I bought into it. I was like, I'll just get them anyway.
Just in case.
And so I was like, is there a crystal that offers negative vibes for people to fuck off? Like, just piss off. Like, you've got the healing, you've got the spiritual cleansing. And there wasn't. I did my research. Surprisingly, no. How? There's so many crystals out there and not one will radiate some form of negativity. So I made one out of resin. So I made these pendants, little resin pendants with a flower in it, called the fuck off flower pendant. As the pendant cured, I screamed, fuck off, piss off, dickhead. And I charged it. And it was just supposed to be a fun little gimmicky TikTok. I charged it with my really negative,
my energy.
I hate people energy. And the TikTok blew up.
Yeah.
And so then it went on Instagram and Facebook and I started just making and pouring these pendants and I sold $500,000 worth. And it was really funny because if you're a Drag Race fan, in the first season on Gina, just when I was going to close everything down to be like, I'm too exhausted. I don't want to.
Yeah.
I'm on my own. I'm packing and sending thousands of orders.
Yeah.
Oh, God, it's draining.
Yeah.
But the money coming in was great.
Yeah.
So right when I was like, things were slowing down, I was like, oh, good, I've ridden this wave. Let's see what I'll do next. On Gina bought one. Talked, like, spruiked it to high heaven, was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen, posted it everywhere, and, you know, like the TikTok, go to bed, wake up, another 2,000 or 3,000 orders. Oh. And so that was, and I was like, oh my God, Gina. And so, like, we DM, like, a lot. She's a real big fan. And I'm like,
she's
I love you, I love you.
Icon.
Oh my God, I know. And I'm like, I send her all the shit that I'm like, here's more shit, have whatever you want.
Amazing.
And so that just kept going, and then things like that would happen, and I'm still going, and that completely changed everything. And so I stopped making a lot of content. Yeah. And just started selling shitty products.
Because you don't do many YouTube videos anymore, do you?
I've just started. So the money that I made, I've hired a videographer, Ben, full-time, and Phoebe, who's a content producer.
Yeah, I've seen a bit of her.
Yeah, she's great. And so we've been able to focus more on the content side. So I'm now doing more. Yeah. I mean, COVID's been very restrictive. Like, I've wanted to go out and film, travel, and do a bunch of stuff everywhere else, but just can't. So
of course. And content, it's so hard. Not only like coming up with ideas, but actually doing it can be really exhausting. As you say, you do an hour and a half of filming for a 90-second like video. It's exhausting. Yeah.
Yeah. It's fun.
Yeah.
But fuck, it's really hard. I complain about everything.
Yeah.
It's sort of hard to... But, how many chocolates do I have to eat for this video? Free promotional products? Fine.
I guess if I have to. Still.
I think I also wrote something that wasn't so focused on me because I talk a lot about myself, obviously. That's what we've been doing for the last 2.5 hours.
That's the point of interviews.
No, I wrote down like a normal person answer, which was, did I? Oh, yes. This is good. This is good.
Okay.
This is a charity angle. Okay. So I have done, do you like that? I started with I. Fucking hell. There is a beautiful charity called Share the Dignity, which, and I didn't know this charity existed. I didn't know this problem existed. You might not.
No.
Maddie, you will probably be at least a little bit aware. So there is a period poverty crisis in Australia.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of young girls, women, people that identify as women who, well, actually not people who identify. Okay, this is we're done.
People who menstruate.
People who menstruate. Sorry, that's the terminology. I've learned a lot.
Yeah.
It's people who menstruate is the terminology.
Yeah.
So people who menstruate can't afford basic period products.
Yeah.
And obviously, being a man, had no idea. And they're expensive. And so Share the Dignity's mission is to end period poverty. And so this was a big sort of cultural shift in my brain because my audience is 90% female.
Yeah.
And so I just started to go, well, there's no point in... It's easier to preach to a choir.
Yeah.
And so I've done some work with them and I've been able to try and understand and share that message of there are people out there that use socks, toilet paper, that will buy food for their kids before they buy sanitary products for themselves.
Yeah.
And so that was quite shocking. And then, you're like, oh, government. Hello, government.
Yeah. Please help.
But it's starting to change. Scotland introduced laws to provide these products. New Zealand has. Melbourne, South Australia the state governments are starting to put in, there's the vending machines that Share the Dignity have made.
Oh, that's good.
Go up, push a button, distributes a period pack with tampons and
Love
pads.
that. Wow. Love that. That's really good. Yeah.
That is really good.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did know about that in generally I feel like
I mean,
because
if you're
I
not
didn't
brought
know it
up
by
in that sort of environment, if you don't come from, I guess, a lower, if you don't have the income growing up, you will be exposed to that.
Yeah,
But if
exactly.
I had a very privileged upbringing.
Yeah.
And only brothers. And my mother never talked about periods.
Yeah, of course.
Why would she?
Of course.
So I just had no idea.
Yeah.
But a lot of women say they like, oh my God, I had no idea. Just didn't realise.
Well, I also had a pretty privileged upbringing. But now obviously by buying my own stuff, you look at it and you go, oh my God, $10 for a pack of pads that might not even last one cycle. You're like, how naturally, you're like, how do people who aren't in as good a position afford that? And obviously they can't.
And you've also got the parliament is just full of men.
Yeah.
So,
exactly.
they have no idea.
They don't care.
And I, for the longest time, and thanks to Share the Dignity, learned a lot about periods. I'm embarrassed to admit this. I just was like, one period, one tampon.
Yeah.
One pad.
Yeah.
No, you can go through boxes of them.
Yeah.
I was like, that's going to that 24 pack will last you a year, one a month. It lasts you 2 years. What are you complaining about? No. I just had no idea.
Yeah. No, that's really, that's very fair. I feel like that's not something that you would think about the logistics of if you're not the one experiencing it. So
Well, sexual education when I was younger was like boys go into one room, girls go into another.
Yeah.
We learn about
It's the
ourselves.
same.
We don't learn about each other.
Yeah, no.
Was it for you? Still, I was
Yeah.
just going to say, I'm pretty confident it's changed since then, but no.
It only just started to change when we were halfway through high school, I would say. All through primary school, it was exactly the same. Early high
Jesus.
school, it was the same.
Well, see, my sex ed was focused entirely on
I also went to Catholic school.
Same.
Mine was Anglican.
Periods don't exist in.
Exactly.
No, didn't talk about periods at all. We were like, how to put on a condom, how to prevent getting STDs. That's it.
They were like, no, here's how to prevent putting on a condom. Don't have sex.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, see, we got a bit of that. We didn't get any information about what STDs were, how to differentiate between each different ones. But it was like, these are the types of things you can do to not get one.
We got that, I think,
Abstinence.
end of grade 10.
Oh,
because they
yeah,
I specifically remember when they changed the curriculum.
Yeah.
And they actually had to include stuff about sexuality and having sex
get
with
that.
another guy once doesn't make you gay. It just makes you experimental.
Didn't get any of that.
Yeah.
Which was,
the amount of
hearing
single
that in
people.
ours was like
yeah,
wild.
that's true. It's true. I mean, I don't know.
But
That's what they say. No, I'm not gay. Just slip it in. It's experimenting.
it's a lot to unpack there.
Yeah, sorry.
No, don't. We talked about way worse last week.
Yeah, accurate.
No, at the period, tampons and stuff, they're not tax free, right?
Yes, they are now.
Oh,
They are now.
Yeah, so again, that was there's other charities like Share the Dignity. I think there was that collective pressure.
Yeah.
I remember Share the Dignity was pretty predominantly involved. They made an
good.
enormous tampon, and they went and stood outside Parliament.
Iconic.
And they got signatures. I mean, they collected
Wow.
thousands and thousands of signatures.
Wow.
And they had, some politicians, obviously female. Well, they had
Yeah.
some male support. There is that male support there.
Yeah.
And the tax was abolished, but that's like 10%.
Yeah.
So, and that whole thing is you go into a bathroom and there's toilet paper you don't pay for.
Yep.
Yeah. So,
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Definitely.
fingers crossed something will happen.
Yeah.
That'll be really.
We'll put the link
Good.
for Share the Dignity down in the
Yeah.
descriptions as
Sweet.
well.
Oh, just Google it. It's just so much easier.
You don't
Google
know.
them.
People are so lazy. All they want to do is if it's not right in front of them.
Really? No, but if I'm too lazy to go search for a link, I'm just like, let's go Google Share the Dignity.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. But
Are these listeners even more lazy? Look, high five if you are, because I'm living for that. I want to be lazier.
We put
get me another water?
Nick. No.
That was just me being really lazy. No, I am a guest.
Give me 5 minutes. My goodness. It's the now
I'm
demand.
joking.
No, it's fine. Yeah.
I wasn't.
It's like joking, but actually expecting it secretly.
Jokes! But
Yeah.
actually, please follow through on that demand.
What was I saying? Oh no, Nick, you puts the links
Me?
for everything
Oh.
in the description.
Okay.
Everything. We'll put all
everything,
of the
everything
videos
we
that
talked
you've
about
talked
today,
about.
everything you
Yeah.
talked about
Oh,
today, it'll
God.
all be down there.
Yeah, I know. He does so much effort.
Good on you.
This is why I haven't fired him.
I was just going to say.
Yeah.
It makes me
That's why
feel
it's
really
me.
professional whenever I'm doing it, but in reality, it takes like 10 minutes. But
Oh.
anyway,
All
we
right.
should start wrapping up.
Okay.
Yes. 2 hours.
But
2
first-
hours. It literally just ticked on
Yeah,
2 hours.
Sorry we stole you for so long. I literally messaged Maddie yesterday and I was like,
If
we need
anyone
to
is
keep it
still
as close
listening-
to an hour as possible. I always feel bad when we keep guests for ages.
Especially ones we don't know.
It's 20 past 1. I haven't eaten today.
Me either.
Is there great places around here to eat?
So many. It's Paddington.
Yeah, there's
All the cafes are really great.
Yeah. There's a couple.
Oh my God. You can tell I'm 35. My body is fused into the seat position.
Okay, well that can be your what the fuck of the week.
Yeah, we need to finish this up. It's really painful.
Okay. We usually do a what the fuck of the week really quickly, just something in society, culture, whatever, pop culture that's confusing you or angering you.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, I've just,
Yeah, right
I've
now.
just told you Scientology, Mormonism,
The past 2
literally
hours.
my book, everything. The past 2 hours, I've just listed all the what the fuck moments.
Perfect. It's called What the Fuck is Happening. Perfect.
Perfect.
My
Oh,
what?
no,
okay,
sorry,
okay.
sorry. I am going to.
Yeah.
I love James Corden. Why is he in everything?
This is my dilemma. My ultimate dilemma.
Good on him.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
It's just
You know what,
it's
I-
Too much
so
now.
much.
I had an epiphany.
Every musical.
Yeah.
I had a bit of an epiphany while watching Cinderella, and I'm the same. I genuinely like James Corden, but seeing him in everything, I think the reason people are over it is because
Saturated.
he kind of just plays James Corden.
He
Yeah.
does just play James Corden. I'm like, put James Corden in Cats. Great. Give it a couple of years before you do Cinderella.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Do your
Yeah.
talk
Or
show.
if he's playing different roles.
Carpool karaoke. It's fucking great.
Great.
Like I think I said the reason he was so good in The Prom on Netflix was because he
Yeah.
wasn't just playing James Corden.
Yeah.
Oh,
Did you see that?
no.
It was pretty long. I'm not gonna lie.
He plays a very effeminate gay man. It's a little problematic.
That's
But at
very
least-
James Corden.
but at
Oh,
least
I
it's
did
something.
hear that.
It's
Yeah.
something
But
different,
He
so it
is
was
a
good
very
to watch.
effeminate. He's not gay, but he's a
so.
very effeminate
He
gay
is.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think why I love him.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, that is very similar to me.
I relate.
Yeah, I think that's why it's kind of hard to watch him in so many things. And I think that Ryan Reynolds is heading in the same direction
Oh, I see what you
Do
mean.
you?
because he can only play Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
He does.
Well, he's
definitely
become
rely a lot on
such.
comedy.
Ryan Reynolds has become such an iconic
Yeah.
figure.
Yeah, no,
that
I'm in
Ryan-
love with
that-
him.
That you get Ryan Reynolds
Yeah.
in the movie to play Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're right.
But I'm scared that it's going to head that
He's
way.
just joined TikTok and he did a really amazing one.
Yes,
Will
Will
Ferrell.
Ferrell.
Oh,
We're talking about different ones.
now where he sings.
Grace
Yeah,
Kelly.
with Will Ferrell.
I only watched the first 5 seconds of that.
Oh,
Oh.
And I was like, wow, I've seen 9,000 of these, but good on you.
no.
Does he do? I wondered.
Will
who-
Ferrell
I
crawls
wondered-
in.
I thought Mika would come in, but I was like, I don't have the time for this.
No, it's so funny. Will Ferrell comes in and does the high-pitched voice. It's great.
Oh my god! Okay, I need to
It's
watch
really wholesome.
My favorite part of that was you saying, "I don't have the time for this." Is literally a 15-second TikTok.
No, it's not. It's like 2 minutes.
So I have
It is.
definitely become I never understood people being like, okay, got to capture them in the first 6 seconds. I'm now on TikTok going, didn't capture me in the first 6 seconds. I'm not. And then I look at how many likes it's got. I'm like, 1 million. Do I want to? Like,
where the pros and cons.
I don't have time for this. I'm naked in bed, about to go to sleep. I have time.
Thank you. That was really brave of you to share that with us.
I don't know why I said I was naked. That was weird. It's like a weird term.
That's not weird for bed. No, okay.
If there's a fire, I'm going to be running out in the street in the news.
I also sleep in the nude, and my bedroom is the one that's right next to the front door. So I'm eternally like, this is risky, you know.
Something is about to go down.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that your what the fuck moment? Being naked,
sure.
answering the door.
Yep, naked and afraid.
Naked and Afraid, great show.
Yeah.
No, my what the fuck of the week is Nicki Minaj's cousin's friend's swollen testicles.
What?
Yeah.
That's my what the fuck of the week.
Okay, we'll just leave it there. I guess.
I'm leaving it there. You can go look it up. It's fucking hilarious. It's also fucking like horrific. But
okay, is there pictures?
No,
It's
it's about the
Go look it up.
It's
You'll
about
see.
the vaccine.
Okay. Oh.
It's about a little white lie about someone who surely got an STD by cheating on their partner, blamed it on the vaccine.
Ooh, that's a rabbit hole.
I was like, I won't say anymore, and then I said everything.
You did a Christian hole. Guys, I don't want to say this, but 4 hours later.
Yeah.
And that is the story of my life.
Yeah.
Literally us right now, 2 hours later.
Yeah, we were supposed to wrap this up 5 minutes ago.
Anyway, okay, well, let's wrap up.
No, I want to know your what the fuck moment.
No, yeah, it can naked and afraid.
Oh, come on!
If she ever has one, it's like about a dog.
Yeah, about Nigel, my dog. Actually, my one this morning I was thinking of was about the weather.
Okay, the weather, go.
Yeah.
It was about how it was really cold at night and then so hot during the day. It's
I know,
hard to
and
tell
today
what's
it's
going
like
on.
a nice middle ground.
Great, thanks for sharing, watching the time. All right, let's wrap this up. The weather. God, and you host this. At
She's
least
really
I
bad
had
at the
answers.
I am.
She's good.
I'm
She's good at
basically
the
just a
elephant in the
wingman.
room at the beginning.
It got windy.
And it's September. It shouldn't be windy.
You know
in
what?
September.
You know what? In Queensland, I also had the same what the fuck moment. I was like, it was 28 degrees, and then the next day it was like -7.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It was and windy.
Yesterday and today.
So
like,
that was.
what?
I take that back. That was a good what the fuck moment.
It's accurate. If
No,
boring.
it's not. I say this with all the love in the world.
Get a better.
If I have to listen to the 30th, we've got like 48 episodes. If we have to listen to the 49th time that she brings up the dog
Nigel.
and the way that he's actually evil on the inside, as her what the fuck of the week, I am gonna off myself.
Yeah, sorry, but it's true. Yeah.
He's an
I'll show
adorable
you
dog.
pictures.
Oh, please
He's a little
do.
schnauzer.
Thank you. I don't like pets. I'm not pets.
Oh, really?
I don't like. I mean, I don't like anything. No humans, no pets, no living
Leave me
things.
alone. Fuck off. Exactly.
Yes, leave me alone. Fuck off.
Okay, well, let's do that then. Christian, would you like to tell us your tour, your
Dates,
socials?
yeah.
We've run out of time.
No, we haven't. Socials.
Run out of time.
Socials. What is it?
You tell them angry?
The fuck off shop.
Socials. God, I can just Google Christian.
Perfect.
Like,
Go to fuck off shop.
Yeah. The links in my bio of my Instagram. So find the Instagram, and then
they'll
all
also
the
be down
important
below.
links are there. Hoodies, I'm releasing all that shit. So book all that shit. I mean, don't bore
Perfect.
yourself with it. You don't need to.
Love
Okay, you
it.
go quickly.
Okay, Lady Alice 101, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. Yes.
YouTube?
Yeah, just Google Lady Alice.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe don't do that.
You'll find all my fan fiction.
Lady Alice, yeah. Oh, God.
If you want to follow the podcast, WTFIH podcast on Instagram, kind of Twitter, I guess, and YouTube, you can just like look up WTF is happening the podcast, or links down below.
Right.
Okay.
And you're not going to promote your own personal ones, or you don't have.
If you want to follow me on Twitter or TikTok, it's NIC_sushi.
Okay, so I'm so sorry. No, sushi. What is your TikTok?
NIC_sushi.
Oh, Nick.
Yeah.
Oh, but you can't say because Nick is with.
Yeah.
Sorry, wrap it up. Yep, great. Sorry, this is just semantics.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Do you have music?
Oh, wait.
No, push the sound effect.
Did you
to play
press it?
out.
What?
No,
Have
it's
you
still
pressed
going.
off?
No, it's still going.
No, I wanted Christian to lead us out with a fuck off.
Oh.
Do you have any good sound effects as well? Okay, great. Okay.
After is this going to be after the fuck off?
Wait, what other ones do you have? That one, 1000%. That is a wrap up. Okay, here we go.
Wait, is it going after as soon as you say fuck off?
I'll
we're going-
point. Thanks everyone so much for joining this podcast. Now, if you could all please fuck off. Oh, no!
Oh, you fucked it up. That's so funny.
Bye! Bye!